Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Zone Quick Hotfix. This is How to Train a Speedrunner, a show where we have a beginner-friendly tutorial showcase just to help people see how easy it is to get into speedrunning and maybe hopefully learn a game along the way. We are going to be learning RPG Remake today. I will hand it over to everybody and let them introduce themselves and talk a little bit about the game before we get right into it.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be your runner tonight. I'll start. I'm Pidge. I'm quite new to speedrunning the remake, as most people are. It's only been out for a month, but not new to RPG speedrunning in general. We're going to be showing you a speedrun done by a beginner runner tonight, accompanied by 3 people who actually did most of the routing work tonight. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, since I'm on the same mic, I'll go next. I'm Sean Cass. I've helped with a lot of the routing and done a lot of the auditing for the routes. Who's next, King?
I'm Countdown. I helped a little bit routing in the first couple of days, especially with formatting and taking Boyd's notes. Is stream of consciousness notes and putting them into a structured format and testing things with Sean and everybody. And I also am still, I would say I'm pretty new relatively to the remake because I haven't been able to play for the last month or so. But I'm pretty experienced with SMRPG speedruns. I ran the original for, on and off for 6 years or so.
And I'm Void. I usually run Donkey, but for some reason I decided to spend a lot of time playing this game, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, Void is also the current world record holder for normal RTA, which is the category that the most people run right now. All four of us also come from speedrunning the original Super Mario RPG on Super Nintendo. I think Countdown, Void, and I have all been top 10 at one point or another. Sean is actually the person who taught me how to run original SMRPG 8 years ago. So if you're here to learn the remake, you're in good hands. I've actually been dividing my time in the last month or so between this remake and the original game, because I've been on a couple of other GDQ shows as well for that game. So, fair warning, and ahead of time, you're going to see quite a few mistimed attacks. Try not to get too many, but if you're here to learn the speedrun, you're going to see that, you can do this, you can finish a run, even if you don't get every time hit perfect. It's a very, very accessible speedrun, especially with things like autosaves. It's awesome. Great run. These guys have done a wonderful job routing it. And we can get started with the timer whenever we're all ready.
Yeah, we're ready. If you want, somebody who wants to give a countdown, we can start whenever.
Sure, I'll do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Sorry, I forgot there was 2 dialogues there.
So I guess just to clarify, timing begins when you select your difficulty on the new file.
Yes. So we have a little bit of cutscenes here, so I'll give a bit of an introduction to some of the general concepts of this run. Most of the damage calculations and stats for your characters and the enemies are the exact same as the original game. It is a very, very faithful remake right down to all the numbers. However, there's a couple of new mechanics that kind of change things. The biggest one is chain buffs. If you have a chain of over 5 and you have Mallow in your party, all of your special attack, including what you get from your armor and accessories and weapons, goes up by 25%. Gino in your party does the same thing, but it's an increase of 12%. So keeping your chain up, very important, and also makes your attacks a lot stronger, and you're going to see that makes a big difference in what some of these fights look like between the remake and the original game. A lot of the route is kind of centered around that. You're going to see a lot more Mallow in this run than you saw in Super Nintendo. He's kind of the main character of the remake speedrun. It's very, very, very different run.
Yeah, so chain actually doesn't begin counting until we do the first fight after Bowser's Keep here. So for now, we don't have to worry about it, and that lets us do some untimed attacks. The reason we're gonna do these jumps untimed is just because it's a little bit faster. It's just unnecessary to need to time them. You can mash it out too, so that's also nice.
Also, just like in the original game, jump still has a hidden counter, so every time you use it, it powers up the attack a little bit for the next time you use it. Also, the formula, I think, is also the exact same, which is kind of funny considering that it's been 27 years. Where every time you do a jump attack, whether you time it perfectly or not, it adds to the counter, and the counter divided by 2 gets added to the base power of your jump attack. So every 2 times you use jump, you'll notice it go up a little bit in power.
So if it wasn't immediately obvious, attacking Bowser there does nothing. You need to deal enough damage to the, what are they called? Chain links or something like that? The chandelier, the thing holding the chandelier to,
Yeah, their
finish the
name
fight.
changed between the old one and the new one. I think they used to be called Kink Links, and now they're called something else.
Chandeliers. I had to learn all of the new names when I was building those calculators that I made.
At least Bowser still says funga foiled again.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite things about the remake, is that they kept most of the original translation, which is like, I love that, because I think the Super Nintendo SMRPG localization is probably Ted Wolsey's best work. It's great, it's funny, the characters are fantastic. It's just overall a great game. On both consoles.
So one of the first things we have to worry about in the speedrun, and the sort of recurring thing that happens in the first half of the game, is the game is going to give you the option to do a tutorial or not, and you really don't want to take the tutorial. I mean, you're speedrunning the game after all. You should know how to do these things.
If you watched me race Headstrong last week, I actually failed, and I did the tutorial. And I had just saved beforehand thinking, I feel like I should save for some reason. But that's okay, we're not gonna get the tutorial here. Another important thing that I want to point out is something that you'll be seeing a lot in the bottom right corner of the screen is occasionally you'll see the little saving icon. What SMRPG Remake does is it has a global timer, and if you pass through a door or warp somewhere, blah blah blah, it checks how long it's been since the last time the game made an autosave, and if it's been more than 20 seconds, it'll make an autosave. And autosaves are very nice because, like, something goes wrong, you can just exit the game, load it back up, and you'll just be right where you left off within the last 20 seconds. It's very, 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 very beginner-friendly thing for a speedrunning game to have.
Yeah, not only that, but you also just die. If you die to a boss, you respawn
Yeah,
pretty much right there.
right there. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you last manually saved, like, you are totally safe. As long as you didn't make any egregiously terrible mistake like 30 minutes ago, you know?
It's one other thing to point out that's already happened once and will continue to happen throughout the run is pretty much every dialogue that Mario gets himself into, he has to walk himself to a certain location, and typically you want to try to get as close to that location before you initiate the dialogue or initiate the event trigger that triggers the dialogue. So, like, for instance, before we went to Bowser's Keep, Pidge tried to get in front of Toad as best she could to talk to Toad, as opposed to just, like, running directly to the side of Toad and talking to Toad from Toad's left, because then Mario would have to slowly walk in front of Toad and turn around before Toad would start talking, where it's faster to move a little bit further to get in front of Toad. And you'll see that happen all over the place. It's one thing to keep in mind when you're learning the game. It'll be immediately apparent when you pick up the sticks yourself.
Something else that I want to mention is that I am running in English. As of right now, I don't think that the various language options have been tested. But we're not too worried about it right now because text works very differently in this game than it used to. You can, if you press A in the middle of a text box, then it will just automatically load the whole text box. You can press A again to dismiss it.
So we're doing a little trick here where that rotating flower, typically you have to fight the Goomba and then you'll get sucked to the middle of the flower and slowly spin around. And then you can press jump when Mario is facing the direction that you want to jump in.
Yeah.
But there's just enough space to land on the flower before jumping up.
I'm actually going to go back and show that again, just to explain what I kind of do. So when I go into the next room, what you want to do first is hold up and run so that you collide with the rock, and then start running upright, and you get caught on the flower like that. Then you just tap up and jump onto the pedal, or at least you can if you're not messing it up. Let me try that again. And the flower pushes you a little bit, so if you miss it the first time, then it's kind of not going to work. You don't have to get this perfectly, but if you get up there, you can just jump on the little side of the flower and get up here, because you want to get that flower, and there's, of course, the flower tab freestanding hiding behind here. That is a new addition to the remake. So, yeah, that's like the first little piece of tech you're going to have to learn. What?
You're going to want to use your flower tab here.
Yes, you're right. That is a new change, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So, something a little different in this game as well is that you can no longer sell your flower tabs, flower jars, and flower boxes, so we're going to be using them a lot.
As a result, it makes the money route pretty tight, especially in the early game. Like you saw Pidge in the previous 2 screens grab some coins from the coin boxes, and that's going to be needed for our first shopping sequence.
As for this first boss fight, something about these Hambros is that there's 2 of them. When you take one out, the other one will increase its defense, so we want to get both of them as close to losing all their HP as possible. So I'm going to start off by attacking this one, not doing a time hit.
Jump there.
I did?
Yep.
Well, that's new.
Yes.
Well, I'm not doing that. Yeah, these guys changed the route this morning, and, oh, whoops, I didn't block there. That's okay. I'm used to SNES timing.
Oh, you'll get your jumps in now. At least this way, now that you have 12 FP, you can afford to jump again.
So which one do I jump here now?
The right one.
The right one. Timed or untimed?
Timed.
Timed.
It's essentially the same, like the notes read to untimed attack, the first one on the left, then time jump, the one on the right, time jump, the one on the left, time jump, the one on the right. So you just replace the first untimed attack with an untimed jump.
And you know that you got it fully timed versus half timed. There's 3 tiers of how perfectly timed an attack is. If you see just white numbers, you didn't get the timed hit at all. If you see just yellow numbers with no background, it means you got it close but not perfect. And if you see red numbers over a yellow background, that means you got it perfect. When you get it perfect for physical attacks, that means you do 2 times damage. For jumps, it means you do 1.5 times damage.
Should probably put it in the notes here, but you when you go to sell your mushrooms, you want to press down once. Or twice if you're only selling 3 mushrooms.
Yeah, first thing that we're gonna do, how many should I be selling here? 3 or 4?
4.
4. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
We're gonna sell all of our mushrooms, and we're gonna buy a couple of, or at least 1 honey syrup, because we're gonna need that on Croco. We're also gonna get some jump shoes for Mario. They make his jump attacks a little bit stronger. And this game also gives you the option to equip it right away, so we're gonna do that.
Yeah, equipping things right from the menu is definitely a welcome change. Or right from the shop menu as you're purchasing it. In the other game, you could equip straight from the shop menu, but it was like a separate selection of the menu itself.
Now here you want to ride Toad's head and get up here. If you miss it, that's okay, because you'll have an opportunity to get it later.
It's actually faster to just get it later, but I mean, if you're just learning the game, you probably should give yourself the most chances of getting that frog coin without having to miss it and get it after at the fastest point.
And here,
One thing I want to note about the Hammer Bros fight and just all the fights in general is that they're sort of optimized around the chain, having chain and the bonuses that each of your party members gives off. At least in this case, you know, that's the Hammer Bros is where your chain starts. So to optimize it, you know, you do one untimed attack and then, you know, you get to keep the chain. You start the chain from there. But you'll see, you know, it's a significant, not insignificant amount of damage difference with it or without it, based on, you know, magical or physical or whoever's in the party.
Good tutorial skip right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yet another one. A couple of landmines.
If anyone in the chat has any questions, feel free to shoot them out at any time. Either Boyd or Countdown will see them, or
Church and Sarge also will see them.
yeah, and relay it.
Yeah, these cute little cutscenes. They've made the design option to not allow you to skip any of them, text or, you know, video cutscenes, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I'm pro downtime in speedruns.
Same here.
I guess this is a good point to bring up that for the moment, it is separate leaderboards for no turbo and using turbo. So turbo is allowed, it's just not combined with the no turbo leaderboard. That may change in the coming weeks or months.
Yeah, we're thinking about going the direction of Metroid Dread and capping what turbo you can use and just having them all on the same leaderboard. So that way, like, it's accessible, but also, like, you don't have to have turbo to be competitive, because, like, you're mashing at 30 hertz and a human can't do that. But yeah, that's all in discussion right now. I personally hope that it happens, but we shall see how things go.
The reason I bring that up is these cutscenes tend to be a welcome break for your arm if you choose to do no turbo.
If you choose to do no turbo, I'm using turbo, so my arms are getting a nice break.
Right, but I'm saying if you choose to do no turbo, these cutscenes are.
Oh, those. Okay, yeah, the textless cutscenes. Yeah, I'm actually using I'm using a setup that I learned from Bep. I'm using a Turbo Super Nintendo controller plugged into a SNES to Wiimote RAFnet adapter, and the Wiimote is interfacing with an 8-bit DOE receiver on my Switch. If that sounded like a mouthful, it's because it is, but I like it. It gives me some good visual cues for super jumping. I do that because all Switch controllers have at least 3 to 4 frames of lag, so what's another frame, right? What's another frame for playing with a controller that I really like?
Coming up is definitely one of the first things you'll probably practice.
Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to practice that.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I practiced it for hours yesterday.
Right there, so it's not the end of the world if you don't. But we're going to be looking to get at least 16 dogs. And I believe 19 is optimal now?
19 is optimal, yep.
Right.
Whoops.
So 19 is best, 18 is almost as good, and 16 is the minimum. If you get less than 16, you can take a non-required encounter to sort of fix your XP. But that's like, that loses a lot of time. So once you're past sort of the beginner stages, it's probably unwise to get less than 16 without resetting. But if you're just starting out, there's no reason to...
I'm going to hang around for a second here to make sure I get an autosave in that room, because I might reset it once or twice. Because like I said earlier, 20 seconds. And it's top right down, right?
Yes.
One of the things that they changed in the remake is now when you stand on a flower, it basically just accepts whatever Mario's facing currently is, instead of depending on where on the flower you land.
19!
So you kind of...
Would you look at that?
You kind of have to manipulate Mario right before you land on the flower to get, you know, the desired facing, so that you have, you know, a second or two to brace yourself before you time your jump.
So for that star, that probably went by a little fast, so I'll just go over the movement again. You want to jump up, hit the chest, there's 3 slow walking dogs over here, you hit them, then you start making your way down here, taking out any dog that collides with you. And then you want to stand right about here, so that because a bunch of fast running dogs just start coming into the room over and over again, and they will all collide with you and just knock themselves out immediately, and that's how you can get a very high number of dogs.
Yeah, assuming you don't miss any on your way over to standing in front of the exit there, you're almost guaranteed to get at least 16.
Also, Krako definitely has gotten new contact lenses sometime between 1996 and 2023, because he is way better at seeing you in the remake and when you're trying to chase him down than he was at Super Nintendo. But not if you're behind him.
However, he seems incredibly likely to do this pattern, which also happens to be the fastest.
Well, that's the first time I've seen this fast pattern.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I was practicing this fight a lot yesterday, and he was not being very nice.
Yeah, the window where he can see you is huge. It's much bigger than in the Super Nintendo version. So in general, you just kind of have to take a wide berth, or you have the right amount of time to navigate around the rocks to get him before he turns around. You just have to do it a couple of times to feel it out.
So one thing to note here, Pidge, is that Weird Mushroom will happen a turn earlier than what you're used to.
Whoops. Yeah, I guess,
Maybe not anymore.
maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
You can still miss one, right? Or is it just halftime?
We're about to find out.
Yeah, this might be an issue.
That's okay, because there's always autosave.
It's true.
There is.
Yeah, the beginning of the
And
game
the
is a little bit unforgiving with, like, timing your attacks. It gets easier.
Did you freebie the honey syrup? No.
I did not. Alright, let's see what we can do. Yeah, 1 damage. 1 damage!
Oh, I thought the game auto-equipped the hammer for you.
Yeah.
I guess that's not the case.
No, not anymore, it's not. So, in a situation like that, the best thing to do is open up your save, your home menu, close the game, and boot it back up.
It's that easy.
Because this is SMRPG Remake, where resets are not heartbreaking. They're not the worst thing that can happen to you because you haven't saved since before the dog star. It's not that big a deal. You just go and do the fight again.
You don't even have to go into the home menu if you mess up a star. In the case of you messing up a star, the game has a handy menu option where you can just return to the title and then reload your autosave that way. We have a question from the chat, though. Why does Mallow block instead of attack?
Oh, because Mallow's not very strong without a weapon equipped, so he will only do like 1 or 2 damage. Wow, he saw me somehow. And so the amount of damage that he gets is not enough to make a difference, and also it's slower than if he just defends. So Mario's jump, on the other hand, is quite strong, especially with jump shoes equipped. It's a very good attack, especially because we've been powering it up so much. So we mostly just rely on him and his magic power to take Krako down. It's quite nice because all of Krako's attacks can be blocked in this game, whereas the bombs used to be unblockable.
Which is a game changer for this fight and for, I would say, most of the early game fights.
You know, I just thought of something, guys. Would equipping the hammer kind of be like a safe backup strat if you run out of FP?
I would say the best backup strat would be to just use the flower jar that you got from the Hammer Bros before going into this fight. It means you have to open up that menu an additional time that you wouldn't normally have to, but it would give you 3 more FP than you would otherwise have here. Which is how we used to do it before, so you could always afford an extra jump in case you mistimed one.
Yeah, once Krako uses Weird Mushroom, that means you're in the home stretch.
Yeah, he heals himself, but he also gives you 2 turns in a row to act without attacking you.
Yeah, he'll always skip a turn after using Weird Mushroom, and he'll always use Weird Mushroom after he loses a certain amount of HP. So once you see that, you're basically home free.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of the early game fights, they are pretty random, but the consistent parts stay consistent. Thankfully, the damage, the block timings, the amount of damage that you do.
So of all the things that they made you not able to sell anymore, they still let you sell that guy's wallet. I find that extremely funny.
Yeah. And it's worth it.
You should sell the Coca-Cola.
Yes, because I'm probably not going to be doing Wiggler jumps. I'm going to be doing beginner strats. Oh, right, that's right. I have to buy stuff. That's right. It does say that in my notes. So here I want to buy a couple more support items. I freebied on Kraku, didn't I? I'll still take 3 for the safety. And I'm going to buy 2 pick-me-ups and 2 cleansing juice. And cleansing juices will heal any status effect.
Yeah, realistically, I think 3 total honey syrups is fine for backups. But 4 is if you want to be like extra safe.
This room is nightmare fuel. There's like no safe way to get around these guys, I think.
Yeah, the way I try to use the X menu to buffer and try and read them, because you do want to use your flower items before this fight.
That's right. Right here, after you get past them and you know you're not going to get into any encounters with them, which is important because you can't run away from them, you want to use your flower jar and your flower tap.
Also, just in the event that you did get into an encounter and you had to Thunderbolt with Mallow to get through the encounter, you will replenish your FP before going into the Clay Morton boss fight.
Yeah, that's right. And if you watched a Super Nintendo speedrun, you might remember that this was the DLC boss that you only saw in most of the stuff runs. Well, that skip is not a thing anymore, so I'm gonna jump back over there and attempt to do it anyway, which makes you skip part of the dialogue cutscene that you have with his voice. But we still do have to fight him. And
Yeah, the reason why Max Skip does not work on this version is because this boss's name is not Mac anymore.
Yeah, well, we're technically skipping Max still. We're just fighting Clay Morton instead.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good point. They didn't actually patch Max Skip.
But this is good because this boss is basically a tutorial to show you that enemies can be weak to elements. In Clay Morton's case, he's weak to lightning, and Mallow will do very nice extra damage using Thunderbolt there. So you basically want to alternate between jump and Thunderbolt with both of your characters and replenish your FP on this turn specifically.
And he can own you, right? Like, just without any recourse if he just flame walls twice.
If you flame walls twice, yeah, you're gonna have to pick me up Mario using Mallow.
whoops.
Isn't that fine?
He has to Thunderbolt one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the bodyguards are gonna show up, so yeah.
I think you might want to defend here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I would defend.
Yeah, for Thunderbolt jump to Thunderbolt. No, they should.
No, that wasn't enough. I think I mistimed
Oh, you
it.
didn't have
because
chain,
of the
that's
drop
why.
chain.
Oh. I think I also didn't do enough jumps. I might have to reset this fight, but that's
You
okay.
You have honey syrup.
You're right, I do have an extra honey
See,
syrup.
this is what we bought it for.
Yep, we
there you
buy
go.
the extra honey syrup for safety just in case, so now we're seeing a situation where you might want to use it. So part of the reason why it is harder to time hits on Switch is because, for me personally, it's because all Switch controllers have at least 4 frames of input lag. Unless you're playing on Joy-Cons like Headstrong, I don't know how she does it, she's a gamer, but that only has 3 frames of input lag. So sometimes like you hit something that looks like you're about to hit it right, but you're actually a little bit too late.
That's crazy. I don't know how anybody does the Trouba Cliffs minigame on Joy-Cons. It's impossible.
Is this level 3?
Yes, so you want attack here.
Okay.
So you got 20 dogs, that's what that means.
Oh, I thought I only got 19. I only counted 19.
Well, game says otherwise.
Yeah, I guess so. I was looking back up and I'm like, didn't I already get level 3 on Mario? So, right now I'm not explaining like every single timed hit because depending on what controller you use and what your personal reaction time is, what you use for a cue might vary from person to person. Even though it has an indicator, sometimes reacting to the indicator can be quite difficult just because of the switch lag issue. But what we do have is, within like the first week of the game coming out, a bunch of us actually put together a site that like shows you when the indicator shows up for every single timed hit in the game. We got like 4 awesome people working on that who just like churned them out like clockwork. You can see that on the smrpgspeedruns.com wiki, which covers both Super Nintendo and Switch speedrunning, and it has links to all of that stuff there. So it's kind of nice because then you can figure out what kind of maybe visual or audio cue works for you. I use an audio cue for Thunderbolt. Exit the castle, and we're going to see this nice little cutscene here where everything is happy in the Mushroom Kingdom again. And this time we're going to map warp. I'm going to forget to do that at least a couple times. You don't actually have to run all the way over the Mushroom Kingdom to go back to the world map. You can just use a warp from the menu.
Yeah, the game sort of not so subtly, if you're familiar with the original anyway, it sort of not so subtly teaches you about the map warp when the trampoline doesn't come down after you kill Croco.
You know,
it's pretty handy, but yeah, for people that are very experienced with the original, it's kind of a hard habit to force at first. I can tell you from experience.
I can tell you that from experience too. So here we're not
There's
gonna.
a lot of places where. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we're not gonna get the experience star here. Instead, we're gonna go down this way and just make very quick work of the sewer. If that mouse will not ruin my day. There we go.
I guess before we get into Belome, you might have thought that, you know, getting more or less dogs, like 19 is optimal, because it just gives you more experience, and that's sort of true, but it's also not, because 20 is actually worse than 19 dogs, which is 1 less experience point. Now, hear me out.
How much FP do I have?
We have this planned out so that when you when you get level ups, we try to get as many level ups into one time that menu opens as possible. So if you get 20, it actually separates Mario and Mallow from leveling up after Belome instead. So Mario ended up leveling up after Mac, and now Mallow is going to level up after... Oh, I'm sorry, Clay Morton. And Mallow's going to level up after Belome.
Thank you.
So in this fight, Belome's AI is kind of like timer. It's very flowcharty. And what I mean by that is he will always attack Mallow first turn. I forgot how to block that attack. I'm just gonna restart that. That's too early to...
It's impossible. It's very, very strange.
Ask me anything about blocking that attack on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, some of the physicals are deceptive, and when their block windows are.
Yeah, very, very much so. But that's okay, because once again, this is a game that wants you to speedrun it. It gave you autosaves everywhere. Look at that. We are right back in Belome's room. We didn't have to even... The save block is right outside of this room. We didn't even have to use an autosave. But we did anyway.
Did anyway.
Okay, I have blocked
No
it.
Toad Assist?
Do we use Toad Assist here? I
No,
thought
no.
Now we use Toad Assist on Bowyer now.
Oh.
Cool, I blocked it that time.
Good
That's
block,
the
good
best
block.
possible outcome. On that turn, he can also put Mario or Mallow to sleep, in which case the fight changes a little bit. But because he didn't, we can do fast stuff. And you want to do fast stuff in a speedrun. Mallow is about to get taken away for a couple turns. He's going to use honey syrup so that Mario can keep jumping. Because Belome is going to turn Mario into a scarecrow, and when you turn this into a scarecrow, you can only use special attacks, and that's a problem if you don't have any flower points. Mallow Thunderbolt's here again.
Yep, this should be the last Thunderbolt that Mallow uses for this fight.
Yeah, and here Mallow gets taken away.
So I guess if you miss time to jump at any point, you can use an additional Thunderbolt at the end to finish the fight.
And that's it for Bloom.
So this is what I was talking about. Normally, if you had gotten, or if Pidge had gotten 19 dogs here, both Mario and Mallow would be leveling up now. And the reason that's better to happen that way is the extra stats that Mario got from leveling up before Belome don't actually speed the fight up any. For how we've planned out how jump gets powered up. And every time that menu comes up, it has to load in and it has to fade out. So we want to reduce those, even though it's only like a second or two, we want to reduce that as much as we possibly can.
Tutorial skip number 4, I think. So here in Midas River, we're going to be collecting frog coins and regular coins. You want to get at least 60 coins here, because if you get at least 60 coins, you get another frog coin as a prize at the end. If you're trying to be really fast in this game, you're going to try to go for exactly 60, because it means you're trying to get less coins, and also you skip a text box, which saves you like frames of time at the end. If you're just starting out and you're not super familiar with the barrel course especially, it's probably a good idea to just get as many coins as you can get your hands on. Don't try to avoid any on purpose. Like just get them as they come and be super safe. Which is probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a little more coins than I need to, just so that we're totally safe. And we're not missing any frog coins, because missing frog coins is bad.
And if all else fails and you don't get to 60 here, there are backup frog coins that you can get before we end up needing them.
Yeah, and those waste a bit more time. But the reason that frog coins are so important is because they're going to get you a very, very important item later on in the game that can only be bought with frog coins, which is the EXP booster. You get it in Seaside Town. If somebody equips that, then they get twice as much experience from a battle as they normally would. And that's very good, because it means we can make Mallow even more buff than he already is.
Yeah, Mallow becomes an absolute Chad later this run. Also,
Yeah,
you're 4 coins over, Pidge. I'm keeping count.
Okay, good. Because these fish can sometimes mess you up. Not only are there fish that come at you from, like, they try to jump into you, but there's also fish that try to jump from behind you, and I'm just going to avoid them because I'm not great at dodging them yet.
Yeah, you have to let them get uncomfortably close to you before jumping without getting hit.
So something that I really like about the difference between SNES and Switch is that they have different main characters. Like, Peach is the main character of the SNES speedrun, and Mel is the main character of the Remake speedrun, and they're like my 2 favorite party members. So they each get their own game, and I got 2 great speedruns for me personally. Alright, so we got 66 coins there, that's a little extra, that's, you know, your first run, you might want to be a little bit over, it's very safe. Now we're gonna go to some cutscenes.
Hooray! This is another point where you have to remember to actually warp out of here when you're done.
Yes.
Also, this is a point where, you know, especially back in the day when Turbo was the thing, or it still is the thing for Super Nintendo, but if you just kind of let Turbo A take the wheel here, you will get in an infinite text loop, because Frog Fuchsius, or the Frog Sage, will ask if you need a recap, and if you don't menu down to say no, you'll just keep saying yes, and he'll keep recapping the story back to you for eternity. That's really the only thing of note in Tadpole Pond. Another big departure from Super Nintendo here, as Super Nintendo would normally buy an Energizer and a Sleepy Bomb here. And we're not going to shop at all, which means we are now +3 frog coins. And the good news to that is it means optimally you get to do less wiggler jumps, which is great.
Wiggler jumps if you ask me, are much, much, much harder in this game. They're definitely like a trick that's very hard to master. But you don't have to do them. There are backups for if you find that you're struggling to get wiggler jumps, like the movement just isn't clicking with you. That's okay. You don't have to do them. If you just whoops, see there we go. There we go. We're seeing an example of the infinite turbo loop.
If you don't know what a wiggler jump is, that's perfectly fine. We'll point out what we mean when we get there.
I'll show off what a wiggler jump looks like, and I think that'll demonstrate why it's so hard to do.
Yeah. Not a tadpole. Spoilers.
So when I was setting up practice saves for this run, I did do all the wiggler jumps, but you don't have to do them.
Yes, and they are jumps. You have to do jump on a wiggler's head 10 times for a frog coin. And that's both time-consuming and dangerous because you can get into an encounter with the wiggler, and he can do a lot of damage, especially if it happens, more than once.
I'm gonna do beginner strat here and grab this flower. I called that a beginner strat because much later we're going to be doing Booster Hill, and you want to get a good result on Booster Hill. Booster Hill is very hard. You can't set up a practice save there. You can only do it once. And it's very hard. So in anticipation of not doing well on Booster Hill, I'm going to be collecting some backup flowers that can help me make up the difference if I don't do as well as expected. Which is something that I recommend doing, like if it's your first time trying to complete a run of the game.
Yeah, there are a lot of backup flowers, and combined with the flower items that you get and can use.
I don't have to get this many. Oh, whoopsie. I just got into a fight. That's okay, he ran away. You don't have to get this many coins here, but I'm just choosing to for safety reasons.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, since you're not doing wiggler jumps, you'll have even more extra coins. You'll be able to afford a whole extra bomb even.
Yeah, in that room where I was getting those coins, normally you'd only get 4. I chose to get more just in case like I don't get as many on the minecart, for example, because you want to have a certain amount of coins by the time you get to Seaside Town. There's a shop there that disappears after you beat Ridovich, and it has some very useful things in it that we are definitely going to want. So a lot of this game early on is just kind of like thinking about what's coming later and making sure you know why you have to do certain things. And that way you'll remember to do them, because otherwise you're going to pay for it later. Oh, that's right, we have to warp here. See, there we go. I already forgot to do it once. The Super Nintendo muscle memory. So in the shop in Rosetown, I'm going to show you another place where you can get a backup flower if you're a little nervous about your Booster Hill. You don't have to get this flower, but you can if you want to have lots of backups. This frog coin over here, though, you definitely have to get. And we're also going to go to this guy's house over here, if I can get on his head.
Yeah, jumping on this guy's head is impossible.
It's Kaizo, dude.
Yeah, with the addition of the 2 flowers and the other ones that are noted in the route, you can get literally 0 on Booster Hill.
Yep.
Again, if you don't know what Booster Hill is, if there's stuff that we're talking about hasn't come up yet, don't worry, don't fret, we'll point it out when we get there.
You can also feel free to ask in chat if you really want to know right now.
True.
Well, there's someone asking in the chat, who is Yeridovich?
Oh, some jerk who really likes water.
Yeah, he's called Speedrunner in this. One thing to note here, don't mash really hard at the very end of this cutscene. Basically, after Mario gets knocked out, Gaz is going to say something, then his mother's going to say something, and if you mash hard through his mother's text box there, you can hard lock the game.
Yep, that is something that did not get fixed in the newest patch.
That's pretty much the only bug I think everybody knows about that did not get fixed.
I actually just realized I never downloaded the update on this Switch, so I'm playing on like the bugged out version, but that shouldn't matter for a speedrun, as long as nothing terrible happens in Bowser's Keep.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It's okay, that's why we have backup saves.
You're at a point where the game could crash right now.
The game could crash
It
at any
already
moment.
passed.
We have to
Yeah.
like fly by the seat of our pants here.
You'll know when the crash happens because her text box begins flickering and like repeating itself, and then the game just goes dark, I believe.
Go into the upside down.
Yeah.
Look at my precious boy. Okay, so I know it's not just me. That Geno spirit, doesn't that look like in Pokemon Snap when you try to take a picture of Mew when he's inside the bubble? Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, I'm like ruining the emotion of this cutscene with my nonsense, but
You're mentioning Pokemon Snap, which is another great game.
Boyd is a known Pokemon Snap fan.
Yep. Not an FPS, by the way.
Look at my perfect dingus. I love him. Oh, I love Geno. I love Geno so much.
How much HP of damage did that do?
Well, I don't know, but one of Mushroom Kingdom's famous items ought to perk him right up.
Well, he's healed by the time he joins your party, so
He must have found Toad
must
on
have
the
not
way.
done much. Yeah.
Took a mushroom in the forest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
So here you can warp after Gaz is pulled over to the side here.
Now, I like here that she's like wagging her finger at him. Is it map warp?
Yeah, it's a
Or,
warp.
yeah, it's map warp. Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't remember if it was map warp or system warp. All right. So, funny thing, when I was making my practice saves, I forgot to get this treasure chest here. All right. So, I'm about to show y'all about what a wiggler jump is and why I'm not going to do them.
And normally you would need to do 4 of these if you want to follow the most optimal route. And yeah.
That Wiggler really gave you the worst pattern to show off. That's pretty
It
sweet.
sure did. It's got 6 different patterns, and you have to bounce off his head 10 times in a row before he goes back down. So the reason that I find it quite a bit more difficult to do in this game is because in the original game, Mario had a very, like, prescient shadow under him at all times that just put a giant black dot on top of the Wiggler where you were about to land. That's not a thing now. It's a little bit harder to judge where you are, and you really have to practice a lot to get good at this. And when you drop, you're kind of like in danger of getting into a fight, getting sandstormed, game overing, which not really a big deal in a game with autosaves, but, you know.
Probably shouldn't risk it anymore.
Yeah, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to heal myself with that mushroom. In fact, you know what? I'm going to grab this mushroom too.
You're able to use HP rain at the end of, like, before Bowyer.
Okay, that's fair. So, I'm not going to do that because I'm doing beginner strats today, and you'll see later on what that means. Wiggler would give you 4 frog coins, but there are some other pretty fast ones that are just a little tiny bit slower that we can get later. This is not one of them. That's one that you have to get.
Well, it's probably more to the tune of like 30 seconds. For a while, it was only like 10 seconds slower to not do Wiggler jumps. But now that some things kind of got refactored, it's quite a bit more. But do you really care about 30 seconds in a 3-hour speedrun when you're brand new and just want to get through it without having to deal with one of the most difficult tricks in the game?
That's right. You're just learning stuff, and once you get much better at it, move on to the harder strats. Don't be like me and learn Japanese super jump as your first ever SMRPG SNES speedrun. So just more underground stuff. You don't really have to grab anything down here, just kind of making it through. Now they changed up Forest Maze a little bit because right now you're in this area. There used to be a save box here. There isn't anymore. You go directly into the maze. Now, instead of following Geno, I'm going to do another beginner strat, which is going to be very nice for you if you anticipate that you will do poorly on Booster Hill. We're going to go to the Forest Maze Secret, which was very popular thing in the original game. Gonna get some extra flowers down here in these boxes. Gonna heal my FP with this one, and also there's an extra frog coin here that I can take.
Are you gonna skip Booster Pass?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, because yeah, you literally don't need that frog coin.
I know, there's another frog coin I can skip. I'm probably not going to get the one in Mulville.
You wouldn't get that one anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why is it in the notes?
Back up, I assume?
It's a backup if you like messed up, like what's the waterfall called? Midas River. Like if you don't get 60 coins on Midas River.
Well, there you have it. If you don't get enough coins on Midas River, you can just do that. So you said I should HP rain here and not use the mushroom?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you're gonna do flower essence in Bowyer, and that'll fill your FP.
Oh, that's cool. So here's where they moved the save box, right before Bowyer, which is kind of nice. And that's where they moved the red essence chest. I'm gonna save here. I don't know why I'm saving here, but I am. Sometimes it just makes you feel a little safer when you make a manual save somewhere. So we have a cutscene here, and after that we're gonna show off some pretty cool tech. We're gonna actually use a Toad Assist for the first time. And Toad Assist is something that you can do when you have 100 gauge, and before you learn how to use triple attacks. We're gonna do some pause buffering in Super Mario RPG. Can you believe that sentence?
This is definitely the scariest thing, other than regular jumps, for like a while in the speedrun. Because failing it means you have to start again, and this is like 2.5 to 3 minutes of cutscene.
Yeah, and there's like no nice backups for that either, because the other thing you could do, like, you need to have Gino with a boost in this fight. And the only other way you can really get that is with an Energizer, and Energizers cost frog coins, so now you gotta think about getting more frog coins, which you would normally get with Wiggler jumps, but we don't want to do Wiggler jumps because they're really hard. So the best thing we can do right now is, if you miss the pause buffer Toad Assist, just reset, sit there, mash A, go through the cutscene again. It sucks, but it's better than doing anything else you can do to get around that.
Yeah, plus we're just not even going to the Tadpole Pond Frog Coin shop, so like you'd have to make a whole extra trip, and it is not in the spirit of the run, at least the remake run, to change the route that drastically.
Here's my boy! Okay, so we're gonna do Toad Assist. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna try to pause when it's on the spiky blue thing, which is okay, that's it. So I just paused when the spiky blue thing was in the treasure chest. The spiky blue thing normally gives you Stargust, which is like a weaker rock candy. But it's a little bit before Flower Essence, which is what I actually want. So I'm going to resume the game here by mashing A. And that gets you Flower Essence. That's all you gotta do. Just keep pausing till you see the blue thing, and then Gino is at full power.
So yeah, to note, Flower Essence gives an attack up to the user, and it restores your FP. Which is why you really don't need to pick up too many extra mushrooms in here if you're worried about healing before Bowyer, because you do have the option of using healing HP rain here.
Now, this turn and the next 4 turns after it, I just defend here, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I put the wrong thing in my notes. The next 4 turns are just that. Gino, beam, and defending.
If you're really worried about timing Gino's unarmed attack, and would prefer to just do another Gino beam, you can use one of your extra honey syrups if you bought any just before Bowyer locks X with either Mario or Mallow, and just do Gino beams the rest of the fight. But fortunately, Gino's unarmed. Both of his attacks there can be either half-timed or full-timed, and you'll still finish the fight in the same amount of turns.
Whoops, I lost my chain.
Yeah, this is where now you need to worry about actually full timing Geno's attacks at the end to finish properly.
So, something else that is important about Bowyer is that just like in the original game... Oh yeah, I didn't time that correctly at all.
You also have one more Geno beam to use now.
I thought it was you only use 5.
Oh, maybe. I forgot you got a million more flowers,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you don't normally have that many flowers. Here, let's jump on them. That wasn't enough. That's okay. I'm hitting that way too early.
Good night there would have been scary.
Yeah.
Good night,
Anyway,
Gino, yeah.
you can still get through that fight even if like you find his attacks a little bit hard to block. This part is scripted. This is where the game is going to teach you how to use a triple attack. You can skip cutscenes for triple attacks like after you use the first one, but sometimes if I'm like not doing a run, I'm just practicing. I just like watching them. They're so cute. So that's Bowyer. The ending there wasn't perfect, and that's okay. He gives us a flower box. So even though we're right at the very end of Forest Maze, it is still faster to warp to the world map than it is to run to the end of the forest after this cutscene.
By just a smidgen.
Yep.
And then after we leave the forest, we're going to be going to the pipe vault. You wouldn't normally go to the pipe vault. This is one of the things you need to do if you don't do regular jumps for frog coins.
Mm-hmm. Pipe vault is a treasure trove of goodies. And now that we have the ability to just instantly warp out of there, it's not like a huge time sink to go there and just grab a couple of things to make up for regular jumps.
Yeah, we're actually so ahead on flowers, we're not even going to be able to get the usual... Like, we don't even need to get the usual backups to get to the amount of flowers that we'll need for Smithy.
I'm still probably going to show off where they are anyway.
Yeah. We're going to be loaded.
Yeah. All right, pipe vault time. So in the pipe vault, we just want to get past this first room.
I guess one thing we haven't mentioned yet is that you can press either down or A on pipes to go down them. So you kind of just want to mash both.
Oh, I always press down. I'm just used to that. So here's a couple frog coins. I'm gonna grab that flower just because I can. And then you grab that. And that's all you need. You can go back to the world map now.
I guess if you want to be really cool, you can unveil the hidden chest first, and then grab the flower if you want it, and then hit the frog coins on the way back to save a little bit of time.
So gonna buy some equipment here. Gonna buy some items for everybody and equip them because the game lets us do that. And now we're gonna buy some work pants for everybody. Everyone can wear the work pants. It is one of only 3 armors where that can be equipped by anyone.
And we're going to use these pretty much the entire game, except for one other piece of equipment, or armor. Another thing to note is if you are, like, this is, I think, the only point in the run where we buy something that we're not immediately equipping as far as equipment goes. And you can just press B instead of telling the menu, no, I don't want that. B will just close it out for you.
Yeah, the 4 pair of war pants is for Bowser.
But Bowser's walking away from us right now. Doesn't he want to wear his work pants?
Well, eventually you'll come around. But yeah,
Bowser, come back, we got you a present.
It's more convenient to buy a fourth pair than to just switch between characters, the third pair between characters.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to be using all 4 characters in some fights, so it's good to have them all equipped as opposed to having somebody without the work pants.
That's right, because this game has a new feature called Standby, which means that you can swap your characters mid-battle. Which is very nice, because when all 3 of your characters get KO'd, your 2 standby characters just jump in to save the day. You can also actively switch out characters willy-nilly, whether your character being switched out is alive or like asleep or KO'd or whatever. There's like, it kind of makes the team feel more like a team and not like a cohesive team and not just like a Gen 1 Pokemon team.
Crocker's back at it again. We have the greatest plot device of all time of being in a mine, so there's got to be a ceiling, and we spring ourselves headfirst into it, knocking ourselves out, just so that Croco can steal coins from us, essentially a peer.
One of the things that this game introduced that we saw for just a second in that fight is special enemies. And special enemies are stronger than their normal counterparts, but also drop a frog coin when killed. And so for any encounters that we're forced to take, we don't want to see special enemies pretty much at any point.
Whoops. Gotta get my chain back again.
You'll be able to, no problem in this fight.
Yeah, this fight is pretty monotonous.
Yeah, you'll see Pidge jumping with Mario instead of attacking, and that's mainly because Croco evades physical attacks pretty well. Jump is just kind of a confirmed hit. It does a little less damage, I think, than Perfect Time Punch Glove, but... And I don't know, does jump counter even matter at this point, or is it just purely to avoid misses?
Just to avoid misses, yeah.
Yeah. So chain is like fairly easy to get back because your chain buffs max out at 5 chain.
And a lot of bosses also have like more than one enemy, and that makes it a lot easier to regain the chain. Like for instance, Johnny has the bandanas, and Punchinella has the bomb. So if you have like one bad turn or whatever after you've missed a block, then as long as you keep your blocks up, it's pretty easy to get back.
So Mario takes SP there. He takes SP most levels except for some multiples of 3 and a big chunk between 6 and 9. Yeah, the bomb just messed up my day. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this room is a nightmare.
Remember we could just hug the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we can't do this anymore in Remake because whenever Mario goes through a screen transition, there's always a little bit of lag where he's gonna stand there for a while until the room is fully loaded, and because of that, you just don't have the time to get through the enemies.
So I don't have to get this, but I'm going to show it anyway. If you missed a frog coin in Midas River, you can just run up here and get this one from a Shy Guy. So if Midas River didn't go as planned, don't fret. The Shy Guy's got you covered. When I first saw that as a kid, like, I laughed so hard, I think I was like crying my eyes out. I'm going to stand around here a sec just to make an autosave in this next room, because the next room is going to be an EXP star, and those are quite hard.
Yeah, this one in particular relies on some amount of randomness from the movement of the bombs, but also just precise platforming, specifically in this next room with the step up. Because you really want to get to this cluster of 4 bombs at the end.
That was 10, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
That was perfect.
Yeah, you want to get, definitely want to get 10 enemies there. If you get 9, it's okay. It's suboptimal, but like, you don't don't worry about resetting over it. If you get less than that, though, probably want to reload your autosave and try again.
Even still, this game has so many different areas where you can just quickly kill an encounter because the mob of enemies is weak to an AoE spell that you have. Or, you know, you could just quickly kill them otherwise.
Here's another chest that you don't need to get, but I'm going to get anyway. Another flower for Booster Hill. To make up for poor Booster Hill performance if you're expecting to perform poorly on Booster Hill.
And one thing to note about that extra frog coin from the shy guy on the minecart, that is the second fastest extra one. So if you only need one, don't bother with that one. There'll be one later that will show off that you should get. But if you miss two, then you need this one as well.
This fight in Croco 2 will really test your ability to time finger shot properly. It's very weird. It's very late, like after the bullets have started hitting the enemy.
Now here when you get 100 gauge, you want to use Star Riders with Mallow immediately. As soon as you can.
And the good news is as you're learning and, you know, not timing everything perfectly on Croco 2, it should be, you know, easier to have full gauge by this point.
This is like, that was round 2, right? I have to use the cleansing juice on this turn?
Yeah, you want to...
I would use a cleansing juice with Mario.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that was this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if everybody had gotten hit there, then Mallow would be the one using it, but because Mallow is not feared, it's better for him to attack than for Mario.
That's right.
Yep.
And the reason we have some, like, not confusion, but wondering what's going on here is you actually don't even want to bother with Cleansing Juice if Punchinello were to Sandstorm at any later turn other than that one. So he just doesn't have enough health left at that point to for it to become any faster. You're just losing a turn of damage by using the Cleansing Juice.
There we go.
Just like that.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
thanks. That fight is... As long as you can get used to blocking the bombs, which honestly only attacked me once and it missed. It's if you learn the time blocks in that fight, even if like you're not great at timing your attacks, you'll get lots of practice in with blocking the bombs and Punchinello's attack, and then it becomes pretty easy. All right, Sean. I'm actually gonna have Sean do the minecart for me because I still don't really know it that well yet. But he runs this game pretty regularly. He was running this game while I was preparing for my other GDQ shows that needed Super Nintendo, so I trust him more than I trust myself on the minecart. A couple things to keep a note about the minecart. We do have videos on our wiki, which, I'll say again the URL, it's smrpgspeedruns.com. We have videos on there showing you the general route that you can take with the minecart. The minecart is luckily one of the easiest things to practice because you can access it at pretty much any point in the game. But one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind with the minecart is that there's a lot of coins you have to get because it's not like Midas River. You actually keep those coins. They go towards buying stuff at Seaside Town. And there's also a part in the third room where you can skip a huge chunk of it by dashing and jumping over a big gap of nothing and landing on another section of tracks. And Sean is going to show that off. Are you okay with that controller, babe?
I'm going to try my best. I'm not used to it. It does have a different amount of lag than the controller I'm used to. So if it doesn't go right, it doesn't go right.
You can use your controller if you want.
It's too much work.
We have 4 hours, babe.
Yeah, I know. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
The other thing too is the minecart coins, or the coins you collect on the minecart, are very important if you're doing the optimal route. But because we're doing a less optimal route, it's not nearly as tight.
Yes, because we are going to have a little more coins to work with. But if you did wiggler jumps and you did them perfectly, then you have less coins than you would if you messed up a whole bunch. And the coins in here would be very, very, very important.
Alright, didn't crash yet. Huge.
Yeah, the sharp corners are very picky. You have to brake for quite a while in order to not crash.
I also don't do the like most perfect movement here.
Well, all I gotta say is find you a partner who will do a minecart for you. You do minecart for me, I super jump for you. Like that'll be your thing from now on.
Yep. Okay, I already messed it up.
That's okay.
Thankfully, this game just tosses mushrooms at you in this version.
Mm-hmm. It gives you 2 rows of mushrooms.
Yeah, really. Well, it's also kind of harder to use them in a way.
There's that skip right at the start of the
Huge
third
skip,
round.
yeah.
Remember when we found that? Like how mind-blowing that was?
It's funny they kind of took the concept of it looking like you can get to some of the other out-of-bounds
What?
tracks in the original.
What just happened? That was weird. That was like Super Nintendo Mode 7
Wow.
thing.
I got owned.
That was a very strange...
That's like the kind of weirdness
Yeah,
that I
you-
thought we didn't have 27 years later.
You got owned. That's a good way to put it, man.
In Super Nintendo, I like to Turbo X in this room because if we're gonna have Turbo, I'm gonna find so many ways to use it.
That sounds right.
No, sub 150. Close enough though.
Thanks, honey.
We should hopefully have enough coins. Usually you end up with like 35, 38 extra coins in this route, so I don't think we missed that many on the cart. Probably.
Did a couple of wiggler jumps, too.
Yeah, we should be more than fine on
Oh,
coins.
that's right. Yeah. You did because you did some wiggler jumps. We're definitely fine.
My boyfriend is the best.
At least I got the shortcut jump.
Yeah, it's definitely the crowd pleaser.
Oh, that and
It's very cool.
it's a actual like so for Super Nintendo there is no big skip like that, so like the worst you can do is like if you even practice a very little bit you're gonna lose like 10 seconds on the cart as opposed to like a world record player doing it like as fast as possible. With this, if you miss that skip, it's like 30 seconds lost immediately, which is not a small amount of time to lose over just not
unfortunate.
jumping from one track to another.
Yeah, I've been practicing this game all weekend because I just put out a series of practice saves that you can use to practice different parts of the game. We have that on Super Nintendo and it's very nice, but so it was a nice little thing to kind of get more used to some things in this run. Oh yeah, that's right, we can world map warp. We can map to Booster Tower like that?
It won't
No,
let
you can't.
go.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
You haven't been
that's
there
right.
yet.
It says you can't go here, nerd. Whoops.
Map Warp, literally the most confusing new addition to this game when it
It's
comes
true.
to people who have ran OGSM RPG.
In Booster Pass, all you're really going to be doing is getting that frog coin in the bush and getting that hidden rock candy chest. We will be coming back to Booster Pass later, which if you did Wiggler jumps, you would not come back to Booster Pass, but because I did not do Wiggler jumps, I got to go back there and get some extra assets. But I can't go into the second part of it because it opens up with a button inside Booster's tower. Also, Booster is my favorite character, like, ever. Dude is a Giga Chad.
You guys also have something in the notes about Artichoker, or did you just
That is
I-
throw
gone.
that away?
Yeah,
as a
we
backup?
removed that because the XP route is not as tight as it used to be anymore,
I see.
thankfully.
Well, I guess I'll be going back to my castle now.
Out of my way, shorty.
It's kind of funny that we removed a whole XP star and thus made the XP route less.
Yeah, it's less stringent somehow. That's good.
Mainly because Mallow, the addition of Mallow getting the XP booster on Johnny gives you a lot more wiggle room.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. There are only certain like benchmarks you really need to hit with Mallow, and that's like
Yeah, there's really only
Important.
3 main XP benchmarks, and it's that we want Mallow to reach level 10 before Spiridovich, or if you know the Super Nintendo version, Yuridovich. Level 14 for Mallow before Mega Smile X, so we learned Snowy. And level 14 for Mario before Machine Made Spiridovich, so that we can use Ultra Jump instead of Super Jump. Other than that, like, there's not a whole lot of super important level ups that happen. There's a semi important one during Land's End, fighting the Shoguns, to power up everyone's physical attacks to kill all the Shoguns in one turn. But you know, alternatively, you can just be always lucky and get a bunch of freebies and not have to do any physical attacks, or do less physical attacks, and just throw ice bombs or rock candies instead.
Yeah. Or just get good damage rolls despite being
yeah.
under-leveled.
Yeah.
So Booster Tower has a lot of encounters that you can't escape, so you want to avoid them as much as possible, but if you do get into them, it's really not the end of the world, because having too much EXP is not that bad in this game. Having too much EXP just means, like, you're going to be guaranteed to get Mal's attacks when you need to get Mal's attacks. But, you know, it is slower. It'll make your level up screens go out of sync and things like that. You know, it's just also slower to be getting in fights. So you just try to avoid them. But if you get into a fight with a Spookum or a Fireball or something like that, not the end of the world. Just play it cool. And fall down, I guess.
Geronimo!
this is definitely one of the best places
Oh
to
my
showcase.
goodness. I can't with the perspective in here.
You know, the movement. It's like it's a good place to learn how to move your Mario. If you can like master getting up here and not getting into any encounters, it's very rewarding. And definitely one of the cooler parts about, you know, it being an RPG speedrun is that it has this movement involved.
This room is a room that you want to be careful in, because the floor is absolutely riddled with tiles where if you step on them, you will get into an encounter that you can't run away from. But if you just follow the coins, follow the key, just jump in all the places I jumped, you'll be fine. There is a way to get over this chomp, but it's not extremely reliable, so I'm not going to attempt it. I'm just going to get into an encounter and run away.
Yeah, it's really hard. I usually don't even bother going for it in runs. Like,
yeah, if you're interested in seeing it, Sean here actually made a video for it, and it's on the Speedrun wiki, smrpgspeedruns.com.
And
So there's
crash.
actually
What crashed?
I'm just figuring there's probably a couple thousand people watching or whatever. They're all gonna go click on SMRPG Speedruns wiki and
It's
crash.
hosted on Google. It's
Oh,
fine.
is it? Okay. I don't know.
No, a little bit about the checkerboard room is that if you look at the floor in Booster's Tower, each of those tiles, the tiles that spawn an encounter are in like a random 4x4 squares throughout the room. And there's a diagram on smrpgspeedruns.com for the Super Nintendo version, but it also applies to this version as well.
Yeah, they're in the
It's
same
all
spots.
the same. They're all in the same spots, so the movement's the same, and
Yeah, the items are just shifted
having that visual element makes it really easy to practice.
for sure.
So here, I just did something kind of goofy. You can hold up and like tap up right, and if you do it right, like you'll step on the corner of the save box but not launch the menu. I did it once, now I can't do it again. But if you do it, you can platform to get up to where those treasure chests are. You don't have to do that. You can also just go over here and do like the Super Nintendo thing, which is definitely easier. But yeah, that's a thing that you can do if you want to do.
I guess
Also, Pidge, I was gonna say if you want to show off in that room before the goodie bag room. If you get into any inescapable encounters in the tower and you want to heal up beforehand,
Oh,
there's
yes.
a
Right
hidden
there.
mushroom chest right there.
That is good call. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Sure. No, it's definitely a huge benefit for anybody that's not confident in their booster tower.
Yes. I hope everyone's enjoying the training session. This will all be on the test. I expect to see all of your submissions to speedrun.com at 9 a.m. Monday.
That's
Yep.
Christmas. You gotta give them a few days.
Oh, is that Christmas? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Tuesday then. Except for you Canadians, I know it's a stat holiday here.
Yeah, come on, we have a stat. You gotta put it to Wednesday. I'm buying you as much time as I can, chat.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me I need to wrap my presents. I've been so busy prepping for speedruns.
See, that means you're more on the ball than I am, because my presents aren't here yet.
Same, dude. They're not even bought.
Okay, I'm in the middle then.
I gotta get
At
one
least-
for my brother and one more for my grandma, and then I think I'm done. But I've been buying a lot of presents for myself too. I'm collecting every Mario RPG pre-order bonus from around the world. There are a lot of different pre-order bonuses, and they're almost all here. I'm waiting on 6 more parcels, and they'll all be here.
You're gonna have such a sick collection of pre-order bonuses after all of this is done.
I'm gonna be like making a YouTube video about like what all the different parts of the world got for their pre-order bonuses, and like I'm just really excited to geek out about SMRPG merch, because it's like I actually have like a pretty decent SMRPG merch collection. I just don't really do very much with it online. I have like all the keychains from the Super Nintendo release and stuff.
So to note here, it is actually faster to lose this minigame and fight Booster. But the problem is, if you win this minigame, you get the Booster's Charm, which is going to be incredibly valuable for a lot of the speedrun. Pretty much the entire mid-game and some of the late game.
I thought it was only faster on Breezy. Did that change?
Oh, is it just breezy? I mean...
That's what I heard, but I mean, don't take my word for it. Through the grapevine, it has been said.
Yeah, we have a couple of people in the community who run Breezy mode, which is a bit of a different speedrun. Breezy makes some interesting changes to the game. It modifies enemy stats, it modifies how much EXP you get. It also changes what some accessories do, believe it or not. It also changes your runaway chance. So what's funny, here's one thing that's not affected by Breezy mode is your freebie chance. Your freebie chance in this game is very high. Every item has a 33% chance of being freebie, no matter what it is, no matter what game mode it is. In the original game, it capped out at 25%. And some of the rare items will only have like 12%, but not this game. This game is just 33 across the board. I'm actually the one that found that. What do I have to do here?
You are party
That's
switching?
right, yes. Party switching, Bowser goes in for Geno.
Yep.
And then we're gonna do some equips. Mario is going to get that lovely little booster's charm that we just got. And Bowser is going to get Zoom shoes and some work pants that we bought earlier.
Keep your pants on.
Keep your pants on. Okay, we're gonna go save here. I don't know why, but we are. just like, it's like having a security blanket. Like, you don't really need it, but you kind of need it.
And everything here kind of has its purpose. The booster's charm is boosting magic attack, like Sean said. So Mario has his fire orb that he just learned, and he's going to use it to kill Knife Guy really quickly. Bowser has the Zoom shoes, so he can go first and quickly cast Terrorize and inflict fear, hopefully, on the clowns. Nice. And then Mallow.
How did that? I pressed the block button and it didn't block.
It's not a big deal.
No.
Yeah, you're fine.
Mallow is here because he can do damage. He can throw the rock candy. but he also, well, if Pidge had kept chain, he would be supplying Mario with the magic attack buff. So he'd probably be doing about 380 damage instead of 308.
Just attack Gray Guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
splash damage will kill Night Guy.
Cool.
There you go.
Thanks, that's good
Oh,
to know.
nice. That's a great backup.
Mallow being put to sleep here actually is best case scenario because you want to switch Gino in anyways, and it's better to switch Gino in on Mallow.
Yeah, him either being
Gino's DPS is better.
put to sleep or just nobody put to sleep is best case scenario, I guess.
There we go.
I imagine Great Guy physical is probably the fastest thing that can happen. The
Yes.
sleep bubble is pretty
Yeah.
slow, but Echo Finder is the other thing that Great Guy can do, and I don't know for sure, but I'd wager it's very close to as slow as the sleep bubble. Because
I
the
think it's
animation
slower,
is so long.
actually.
Way slow.
Really?
I think it's even slower, yeah.
Yeah.
Echo Finder is like twice as slow as it is in SNES. It's very long.
So, thing that I want to mention, I dropped Chain during that fight. That's okay. Even though the speedrun is routed a lot around your chain buffs, if you drop it sometimes, which when you're learning the run, you're going to drop it sometimes, that's okay. You don't always have to reset. You can try to suss out, okay, what can I do here while my chain is dropped?
So this is Booster Hill that we were talking about before. We could literally get up and leave the controller alone until the end of this because we don't need any more flowers.
In fact, I would probably do better if I did that.
That's kind of my impression of this, is that there are so many both items and chest flowers just all throughout the game that it's almost not even worth putting in any effort to try and get any here.
Well,
Unless,
things-
you're really optimizing.
Yeah, you maybe save a handful of seconds if you get, I want to say it's like, I like to get
13.
like at least, 11 or 12 flowers here.
13 means you don't have to get any of the extra ones that we got earlier, and it also means you don't have to get any extra ones that you have to go out of your way for, like even half of a second the rest of the run.
Look at this utter crap show.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's
Did
pure-
you see that double bounce?
I've seen a triple bounce before.
Yeah, it's so sick when you get doubles or triples.
What is happening in this video game?
This is pure chaos.
I like the chaos. I'm just also not very good at it. So that's why I've been getting so many backup flowers. So all the flowers that like I mentioned earlier, if you think you're gonna do badly on Booster Hill, get this. Those are all things that are the reason why I'm not really worried about my performance here, because I'm not an expert at Booster Hill yet, and that's alright. You don't have to be an expert at Booster Hill. There's lots of things you can do to get around not being an expert at Booster Hill.
So the way the notes are right now, you don't have to get a single extra one. You got 9 still.
Yeah, that's still
Mine
like
is
more
quite
than
good.
the minimum you want if you didn't get any backups. So
Um,
we're loaded on flowers.
Yeah. So even if you didn't get any of the extras that the route doesn't, specifically say you need these, before this point, you can still get a minimum of 2. And there are enough backups, at least that we have in the notes, for you to pick up.
Yep.
So you can really tank that and not need anything extra before this point.
It is quite beginner friendly in that regard. Now this little mini game they made way harder.
They sure did. I swear this is frame perfect. Like, you were so close and
There we
still
go.
bounced off the door.
I just start moving when I see him descending.
Don't forget the menu?
I was gonna save.
Okay.
Shut the door. Yes, that's right. There is a menu here.
You're just
I need-
swapping,
I'm keeping Bowser in the party, and I'm gonna have Mario take the Zoom shoes from Bowser. Oh. And we're gonna have Bowser be a funny man here. He says, "You don't bring too much to the party," but
So, just a quick note, since you don't have full chain here, you will probably have to use Clown Car Barrage before Candle Phase.
I'll have to?
If you have the gauge.
Can I just do an extra turn?
You could. You
Yeah,
could
you
defend around, but if you have the gauge, Clown Car Barrage is going to be faster than
Okay.
defending the whole turn.
I don't have that written in my notes, so I'll probably just like do an extra turn. Now, if anyone in chat is curious what they're talking about, all the notes for this speedrun in great detail that these guys wrote are on the wiki as well. If you go to the wiki, you can...
smrpgspeedruns.com.
That's right. If you go to the wiki, you can pretty much learn anything you need to run this game. And the SNES version too, you can learn the whole SNES one and get a sub free without ever talking to another speedrunner. But talking to other speedrunners is fun, so I recommend you do it anyway. Switch is getting there as well.
I believe there's a link to the Discord as well, where plenty of people there are always willing to help if you have any questions during your learning adventure. Except don't listen to KBZ, because...
No, I will always listen to KBZ. KBZ has a Discord server that for the last 7 years has, like, the only 2 members are me and him, and all we do is post Smurf emotes in there.
I was, of course, kidding. KBZ is one of the best players at this game. He is somebody you should listen to.
We love KBZ. He just like Void, he's a donkey runner turned top tier SMRPG remake speedrunner.
I just love the banter between him and Tokyo right now.
It is
It's
so
like-
funny.
It's a good anime arc.
Those guys are like neck and neck in time too, for like trading back and forth second place.
Yep.
So if you join the SMRPG Discord, you'll see a lot of funny stuff in there.
So it looks like you're not gonna have the chain, and you're not gonna
That's
have the
fine.
gauge anyway.
I think if you get good rolls, you'll still be alright.
Could be, yeah.
I think one of the overall like underscored principles of this fight, at least the phase 1 of this fight, is that don't use the red essence before the candle phase, and also, you know, there's generally a turn order setup so that you can use a red essence with Mario before Bond goes.
Yep.
I think I'll still be starting this on time.
And if not, you just defend back to Bowser.
Yeah.
I think if you miss time like 1 attack,
I
you're
think you
fine.
can miss time 1 attack, yeah.
Actually, I got it earlier when I missed time 2 attacks.
Oh.
Well,
Well, what?
it depends on how good you roll and
Also, who you missed time to attack with.
again how
Yeah.
few your chain actually is and all that kind of stuff.
So,
It's
You
definitely
wanna-
not as tight as, say, winning the Punchinello fight in, what is it, 4 turns?
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really tight.
So you want to get that cutscene to happen right after Bowser's turn, because it'll give you enough time to do some other important setup things. So here, Mario is going to red essence himself, because he just doesn't have the magic defense to really survive Pain Spout and things like that.
Or the health.
Yeah, that too. And then we're actually going to break our chain on purpose and do an untimed attack. And that's because you don't need to do timed attacks to blow out the candles. Yeah, I think I can just do untimed attacks here.
Yeah, this turn you can do untimed attacks.
Yeah, and
Next
now here...
turn you'll have to start timing them though.
Yeah. Here, if Mallow is KO'd, this is where the fight splits a little bit. There's 2 different strats depending on what Mallow's status is right now. Because he's KO'd, I'm going to switch to Geno. You have to switch to Geno eventually anyway.
And this is going to introduce something we call revolving door. I think like Alan and I Ate Your Pie came up with that name. Because of your switching Geno in, who is our fastest character, in from Mallow, who's quite slow, you actually get 4 moves this turn.
Oh, this is bad.
I believe you get 4. Yeah, this is bad luck.
Yeah. That's alright, though.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh, maybe because of the drop
Don't wanna do
chain,
that.
you didn't get the revolving door. Because
Oh, yeah, 'cause-
Gino also buffs speed.
That's
with
right, he
chain.
does.
So unfortunately, Bowser wasn't able to outspeed the cake.
Oh yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
This is kind of dicey, actually. I just keep
Nah,
getting
you're fine.
sandstorm.
Fine. You'll be fine.
Bowser's a thing.
That's true, he is. Mario's not surviving. Whoa, never mind. He did survive it. The Gen 1 miss.
Then one miss. Alright, nice.
Alright. Yep. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Once again, you don't have to be perfect. You just gotta be good enough to make it through the fight. And then you're gonna run it again, and again, and again, and then you're gonna be perfect at it.
Huh. If only.
Results may vary. But you know, the more practice you put in, the more you'll be hitting those time hits like it's nothing. One day I'll run this a whole lot more, and then this will be just like playing on Super Nintendo. Also, if our host and our tech person want to take a break at some point, this is probably a good part for it. Just because we're about to enter into the longest cutscene of the game.
Sure, do you want to do before or after?
Let's go with after.
Okay.
We can use the cutscene to talk more SMRPG stuff.
Wind down before our break.
Do I map warp here or no?
You unfortunately cannot.
Oh,
Yeah, game doesn't
Okay.
even allow you to.
Okay, so that's why it's not in the notes. Cool. We're getting all the hot info from these guys today. So here you gotta remember to pick up the cricket pie. That was the abandoned plot point from the start of the game. You cannot get to Star Hill without it. And that's the next area of the game. So we gotta get there.
And if you are, relatively knowledgeable, you'll know that trading in the cricket pie gets you the froggy stick for Mallow. And unfortunately, just the way things work out, giving Mallow the froggy stick for, from as soon as we could have gotten it, doesn't help with any of the battles in terms of speeding them up. That point right there is where you would use Toad to hop up and get the frog coin as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and if you missed it both times that you could jump on Toad's head to get up there, that's okay, because after this cutscene, wandering Toads start going in the hallway and they will eventually let you go over there. That chest was permanently missable in the original game, which is hilarious. I still think that the existence of that chest is some meta humor about, like, the fact that you can use cartoon logic in an RPG town. But yeah, they made it not missable in the 2023 remake. So this is kind of where the whole party comes together. Peach and Mallow have really 100% swapped their roles in these games, because in SMRPG Remake, the skill swap glitch that we used to donate offensive spells to Peach in the original game that kind of make her the main character of the speedrun no longer exists. So, and Mallow also is like a huge buff to magic attacks, so most of the time you want to have Mallow, and Peach doesn't really do a whole lot for you that the other characters don't do better. And in the original game, the same was true for Mallow. There's nothing he can do that Peach can't do better. So Mallow gets benched after Booster Tower, Peach gets benched after Booster Tower as well. That's, they've just... Peach was a little bit tired, she just decided to take a break and send Mallow in for her.
Yeah, Peach will only help us out exactly 2 times, and it might not even be the full 2. It depends on... So in Bloom 2, if it's really likely for him to use an attack that will put both Mario and Mallow to sleep, and we'll switch Gino out for Peach to group hug them just to heal their status. And then way later, in Super Nintendo, we used to buy a Sleepy Bomb to use on Gun Yolk and Factory Chief, which is the second to last boss fight in the game. But because we're not doing the Tadpole shopping anymore to buy the Energizer and the Sleepy Bomb, we end up having to use Peach to put them to sleep instead. And that's her one shining moment in the run.
Also, after this cutscene finishes, this is a good time to pause.
You can see.
Yeah, this whole series of cutscenes here in Mushroom Kingdom is called ABC, and I'll let you use your imagination on what that could possibly mean. But I'm not telling you. Nah.
If you want to know, you have to run the game.
Yeah.
You gotta be one of the cool kids.
All right. So right after this dialogue, and this is where we can take a pause.
Awesome. So during these longer runs or shows, we like to take a break every now and then. Just everybody can get up, stretch, get some water, anything else they need to do to just kind of stay healthy. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in a few minutes with more of the tutorial. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is How to Train a Speedrunner, and we are in the middle of a tutorial for Super Mario RPG Remake. I'll hand it right back over, and whenever y'all are ready, if you just want to give a quick 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. 3, 2, 1. Let's go to Marymore.
You want to go to Booster Hill or Booster Pass?
Don't I want to go there? Oh wait, no, I want to go to Tadpole Pond actually.
Oh yeah, you gotta go there first.
Yeah, Tadpole Pond, then Booster Pass. So we're gonna give the
back
cricket
from the break and we had no idea where to go.
Yeah. So we're giving back the cricket pie, and that is something you have to do before Frogfishes will tell you about Star Hill. And that unlocks Star Hill on the map, which is the next part of the game we have to go to. But before we go there, we have to make a quick pit stop to Booster Pass. I hit that big green button in Booster Tower, and that blew open a side of the mountain in Booster Pass. And, how do I avoid this guy again?
You gotta get way down on the edge on the bottom side.
Well, that's a little too far, I think.
A little bit.
It's okay, we have become Donkey Kong now. That was an extendo.
Rolling in.
Rolling. This is where holding, you probably need to go even, that might be fine.
Let's find out. Yep.
Yay!
You want to be right on the edge there to skip that guy. If you land too close to him, he'll challenge you to a fight. We need that for another Coca-Cola, and that's going to give us a little more money to work with in Seaside Town.
Yeah, that flower there is essentially extra as well. The way the notes work is they sort of rank the flowers. Like if you got this many on Booster Hill, then collect this flower. That's like the fastest one if you're skipping regular jumps. So it's a very high ranked one.
I cried the first time I came here. I just like I'm putting that on the record. Star Hill is absolutely beautiful in this game.
These things are impossible to interact with.
This is another thing that I use Turbo for. Don't tell the speed police.
Well,
I'm already using an illegal refresh rate on this controller.
you know what they say about speed police.
They have big speed police cars.
If you go faster, they can't catch you?
Turn to page 37 to find it.
So here you actually don't have to interact with the star flowers at all. This cutscene unlocks Seaside Town. And you can just map warp.
The one thing we try to do is combine, if we're going to do a menu to change equips or party members or something, we'll combine that in with the same point that we wanted warp somewhere. Whether it's the world map or to another town.
Peach has got the intel.
Oh.
What?
You want to do your menu here?
You're right, there is a menu here.
Yeah, you get stuff.
That's right. We have to do some stuff before the seaside menu. So we need Mallow in the party.
This is where I like to correct the order, yeah.
Yeah.
For Mallow and Gino.
And we're going to unequip Peach's weapon. We're going to unequip Bowser's accessory. We're going to unequip Gino's weapon. We're going to unequip Mallow's weapon as well, and not give him the froggy stick. We're going to unequip Mario's weapon, and we're going to give Mario the booster charm. And I think that was all I needed to do.
That is correct.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And the reason we're doing this is we are going to wholesale everything we possibly can sell, pretty much.
This is not as impressive as it is in Super Nintendo, but it's also way easier. So if you're running the game, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Due to there not being a coin cap anymore and the fact that we're selling a whole lot less, it's a very simplified menu where you just sell all the things you need to sell and buy the things you need to buy.
Should I have more than 3?
Nope.
Really? What happened to my 4th one?
You sold it.
You're right, I did. Sell all your Coca-Colas, sell the goodie bag, then you're gonna sell all your weapons. You can turbo A through here.
And the whole reason you want to sell the 4th Coca-Cola early is because this game puts a cap on certain items, and for Coca-Colas, you cannot carry more than 3 at a time.
So you want to buy 5 here. 5
Yes,
fire.
you're right, because I skipped Wiggler jumps, I have to buy 5 fire bombs.
Yeah.
I can get 3 fright... Whoa! I actually don't have enough for 3 fright bombs.
Nope. You only get 2 and then 1 poison mushroom.
Okay. That's right, I do get the poison mushroom. Alright, well...
And yeah, you still had 56 extra points. That's how kind of lenient this point route is.
Yes. That's okay. You can get either a fright bomb or a bad mushroom. Either are fine. Fright bomb's slightly more optimal. So here's the guy that sells you the EXP booster. I have 24 frog coins because I showed off a couple.
You
of
wanted to
ones.
put that on hollow,
Yes, I do. Mallow wants to equip that.
and you want to warp out of town as well.
Yes. It's a world map. Now we're going to do another EXP star. And we are not going to be doing any glitches here. When we see Mallow getting a level up, that is actually Mallow. It's not anybody else.
Yeah, this is a considerable difficulty spike in the game. So the game kind of gives you this star in a room full of a ton of enemies for you to run around and
Autosave?
kind of do some catch up if you haven't.
Autosave. Yeah, you gotta get all the enemies here.
Yeah, I would say this is a star for a beginner. This is a star where you either want to save, like in the little save block in the other room near the shop guy there, or force an autosave. I think it's probably going to end up being faster to just do a regular save than wait for the autosave to happen. But if you really don't want to mess the star up, it creates a lot of problems. In fact, you can't even mess the star up if you had messed any of the previous stars up at all, because you just won't have the XP down the line.
Oh, also, here's something that I don't need to do in this tutorial, but you might need to do in a speedrun sometime. There's a couple chests in here. One of them has a flower in it. You can grab that if you're at a flower deficit still. If your booster heal was really, really, really bad, you didn't get a lot of those early backups.
And there was the aforementioned save box. You just go in from a different door in that room.
Yep. Oh, I meant to go down. You actually want to go down the second whirlpool. I went down the first one by force of habit. It's slightly faster if you go down that second whirlpool.
Yeah, you just need to know what you're doing there, because if you kind of do what looks like optimal movement, you're gonna run into the blooper there.
Yeah.
So you have to account for that.
Here's another backup flower if you need one. And you want to get this chest, you want to deplete it completely.
We're gonna skip all of the puzzles here.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, none of them have rewards that are good enough to warrant the time to spend on them.
If you want to get around this ghost here at the final door, just run up into this box, hug it, and then run up right.
Merles.
I don't have to do a menu or anything here, right?
Nope.
Cool.
Also, if you want to get some bonus pick-me-ups or anything before these couple of boss fights coming up, there's a room, one of the puzzle rooms before the boxes that has 160 coins in it. Where you like chase a little coin around the room, and it's about, I don't know, 15 or 20 seconds, but if you feel the need to get some syrups or some pick-me-ups.
You are boosting.
Yes, yes, I am. I got a little mixed up in my notes there. Yeah, here's where you want to use a bunch of your fire bombs. Getting freebies on them is nice, but not 100% necessary.
Not necessary at all, but you actually got.
I got two. That's optimal. That's the you want two freebies. That's like best case scenario.
When we were making practices, well, by we I mean mostly Pidge, but I was helping for a couple of things. It took like 10 or 15 tries to get the freebies to actually have like the resources for the practice save.
So they don't attack you at all in this fight. That's quite nice.
It's really nice.
That's a very nice strat. That's like as nice as that one that we do in low level.
And it's all going to change soon, unfortunately. This is definitely the easier set of like the easier route to take for this stuff. But if you want to save like a handful of seconds, there's going to be some changes. It's probably unnecessary for a beginner player, but at a top level, things
This is
will
actually
change
what
with the section.
we've been cooking today.
I see. I actually don't know the movement in this room.
You can jump again while you're on the head of the clone here, and that will guarantee that you get. Just keep pressing jump. There you go.
All right.
Yep, there you go.
That's right. I forgot how to do that room.
Yeah, so even as a casual player, if you're struggling to get that hidden chest, you can actually jump again off of Mario's head, the clone Mario there, to ensure that you get that Coca-Cola. I was about to call it a Coca-Cola, oh no.
Yeah, you can tell all four of us ran the Super Nintendo version one.
Yeah.
I don't know the trick to get around this guy.
There is no trick anymore.
You just stand still.
Yeah. Let him go by.
I see.
The trick is actually just to you
Oh,
just
great.
stand still, and
Oh, stand still for
He'll
like
come-
a split second?
well, he'll come up and then start going back, and that's when you go. It's not a split second, but it's like
Okay.
I made a video.
I'm not having a good time down
specifically
here.
about this room.
See, I stood still once and he just kind of stayed in front of the stairs indefinitely.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Classic linebacker shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. Your mileage may vary.
I like how there's water in this room now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
It's logical.
It is logical.
yeah, it
Unless
kinda
it was
did
like an
make sense that
airtight
there wasn't
door.
water in there, yeah, and you come out here and you're like 9 feet underwater.
My barrel movement, no.
That was like one of the first things you criticized me on 8 years ago.
Yeah, Sean found that jump on the barrel, so he's like, make sure everybody does it.
And whenever I would do it
It's
bad, I'd be
optimal.
like, Sean, don't look. So I do have some bad news for people trying to learn this run for the first time, this route that we are using today does in fact require you to do 100 super jumps. But the good news is, if you can't get them right away, you have autosaves.
Yeah, one thing.
800, not 800, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, 100, not 800. What you will want to do if you're not confident in getting 100 first try is after the second set of bandana reds, you'll come back into this room and grab that mushroom just in case you don't have enough flowers to do extra sets of super jumps. Normally,
Angel proc and autosave.
yeah, with like
that.
the minimal amount of flowers up to this point, you'll only have enough to do 2 sets of super jumps. Just because you're using Thunderbolt here twice, so then running back to the other room and using the mushroom will let you do give you a third try before having to load the autosave.
So I will mention that there are versions of the route that don't use super jump, but one, I don't know them, and they're pretty. No super jump routes are actually pretty popular in Japan. They're doing routes like that. But in this run that we're doing, there is, when you complete 100 super jumps consecutively, you get a reward called the super suit, and a lot of the late game is routed around having the super suit. So if you don't do 100 jumps, you can't have it, so there's really no backup strat to not being able to do 100 jumps, besides, like, if you really want to, you can try using a no super jump route, but I don't know if those have been finalized yet, so this is the one that we got.
Yeah, I do know that no super suit is popular amongst the breezy RTA players. There is at least one person that was routing normal RTA without getting the super suit.
I'm actually not consistent at super jumps yet. Like, I can do them, but I usually don't get them first try. So we're gonna keep trying until I get them. Yeah, things like that can happen. You feel like you're doing really good and then you just drop them. That's okay, that's just part of learning the game. And at least in this route, if you run out of flower points and can't try anymore, you have an autosave. And you're in very good hands with that autosave.
Usually Pitch doesn't care about serious time for super jumps, but because it's remake and a little bit different,
Yeah, I'm definitely not as good at super jumps in the remake as I am on Super Nintendo, because like 8 years of practice versus game came out a month ago.
I guess another thing to note with all the extra flowers you've collected is it is going to give you more tries here than you would normally have.
That's true.
Also, you get some mushroom drops and stuff that you can heal Mario with if you need to.
That's true. I did get a bunch of extra mushrooms. Everyone in chat, what button do you super jump with? I super jump with X.
X.
Press X to down. And super jump. Hooray!
Stay nothing to it.
Let's go.
Easy.
So
First
the nice
try every
thing,
time.
if you just keep practicing super jumps, eventually, like, you'll get so used to the input that when you drop it, you'll be able to tell, oh, I was just a little bit too late, or that was a little bit too early. It just takes a while to get there. So what I really recommend is, like, just keep trying it. Just keep trying it out. You will get it eventually, even if it seems really hard. Something interesting about super jumps is that some people think that they're easier on the Super Nintendo, and some people think they're easier on the Switch. And they're actually the exact same. It's 3 frames in both versions. It hits the 3-frame cutoff taper at 15 jumps in Remake and 13 in Super Nintendo. What might make it feel easier on Switch sometimes is that if you tried and couldn't get it in Super Nintendo, most of the time that's because you're hitting it too early. But because Switch has input lag, if you're trying to do what didn't work in Super Nintendo but just kind of comes to you instinctively, now that might actually work for you because, like, your input's actually going through a couple frames later and you're landing it perfect. In each of you only actually have to super jump in 3 fights in this remake. And in all 3 of them, I use a visual cue in the background, and I look for Mario to pass that visual cue, and then I press the button. I try to react to that. So one thing you can try to do is find something on the screen that you can focus on that will help you keep up your rhythm. That helped me a lot. Super jumping is all about placebo. It's different for everybody. Now, Gino...
In that particular fight, I like to use the bandana sprite that's just up and to the left of Johnny.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty helpful. Yeah, it's pretty helpful for Mario. Just, you can use the top of him, the bottom of him, whatever. Just the general vicinity of that bandana is when I like to press the button. When Mario kind of crosses that threshold, it's generally a good timing for me.
I can't show it on stream right now, but, like, right above Johnny's head in the background on a floor, there's, like, a shadow of the wall, and there's one part of the shadow that just juts out towards the room, and it makes kind of like a diagonal line. Whenever Mario passes that point, that's when I try to hit the super jump button. That works for me in my particular controller, which has a little bit more input lag than most controllers, because I'm playing with an actual Super Nintendo, like, ASCII pad. But yeah, like, depending on your setup and your reaction time, like, Countdown and I have 2 different cues. You might find something that works for you, and then it'll get really consistent for you.
Yeah, in the SNES version, we like to tell people to look at the medallion, and, you just kind of have to find your own medallion based on your setup and what you feel works for you.
Yeah, moral of the story is get creative.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Just anything you can latch onto that works and gives you comfort, because super jumps really just become that.
it's true.
You're just going through. It should just get to the point where you're going through the motions, and it's not that special.
I get asked a lot, like, what is the secret to super jumps? And the secret is really just find your placebo.
Oh, what's going on here?
I mistimed Shocker.
It's fine.
No,
That's what's going on.
Oh, the turn order has changed. I see.
Boost Mario?
Yeah, turn order has changed because we leave Booster's Charm on Mario, so Mario acts last.
So
Booster's Charm is one of the side effects is that it makes the wearer also very slow, in addition to increasing their magic attack.
So when you asked me what's going on here, I got a little worried and I looked at my notes, and then I was like, no, wait, I was timing Shocker.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. That's my fault. That's me
off.
having a skill issue, my man.
No, I just, in so many years, I haven't seen a turn order that isn't Gino, and then Mario, and then whoever the middle character is. Mario Peach or whatever.
Yep.
So, it's just like, completely stood out to me like a sore thumb.
Oh my goodness, he's not being very nice to me
blast.
today.
Wow.
Missed Mario.
Rarely seen.
Oh wait, no, I have to use a Firebomb freebie here, that's right.
Yeah, you
don't
should
have-
probably like go Firebomb, Pride Bomb, Firebomb.
Yes.
Even so, I think he'll still live.
Yeah, he
no.
will, 'cause I mistimed Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I can just do like a jump on him and finish this probably.
I think he's literally like 5 health short.
I can even do like another shocker.
Yeah,
Like, why not?
Just do another shocker.
Yeah.
There, I got it. 4 out of 5. Don't get any better than that.
If my math was right, he was like 5 HP off.
So something that if you're learning this run that you'll want to pay close attention to is that in the Spirit fight, there's a couple of different ways that fight can go depending on if he uses Water Blast turn 2 or not, which he did because that fight has a long track record of strongly disliking me. That kind of like changes what you're supposed to do. I brought Peach in for a second because the game knows that I love Peach, so I wanted to give her a moment to shine. Normally you wouldn't use her there because you wouldn't need to bring her in to heal everybody.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that Peach backup too, because that's like, I guess the one other time other than Balloon 2 where she might come in.
I don't think I freebied the Coca-Cola, did I? I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah.
One way to find out.
I love this cutscene. I love this addition of the Peach and Bowser dialogue. I know I'm like zooming through it, but like if you play the game, this is one of my favorite additions to the remake. It's like, oh, they are so funny. I love them. Bowser is very upset that someone would have the nerve to kidnap somebody. I did not freebie the Coca-Cola, so I don't have to sell it. We're gonna buy a couple more weapons here. We're gonna get the Paratrooper shell for Mario, and we're gonna equip it. We're also gonna be getting the Hurley gloves for Bowser, which I think where are they?
You usually go up 6
Oh.
in the menu from Paratrooper,
Oh, that's good to know.
and then up 2 to double punch.
Oh, that's right. I do remember seeing that in the notes. Alright, we got a couple weapons, and now we gotta go unlock Lanzet.
And then work
Yeah.
to the world map.
Oh, you can't talk to him on top of his table anymore, can you?
I don't think so, no.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's
sad!
weird.
Oh, I'm so upset about
They
that!
make you go so close to him now. It's unfortunate.
I remember a while ago, Lack Attack was like, noticing who went around the table and who jumped on the table, and he said, I'm glad that Pidge jumps on the table like I do. Gotta get that red essence in the first room.
Yeah, that red essence we're actually gonna save all the way till Smithy.
Yep. Okay, this is... What is happening, gamer?
Classic.
I think you got floating platform there.
I'm just getting owned in general right now.
Oh no.
They made that so much harder in the remake. Timing the cannon.
Okay, I'm resetting this room, but we're gonna pretend this never happened.
Yeah. I don't think you need to worry about healing because of the level ups that are gonna
Yeah,
happen.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
There we
maybe.
go. There we go. There's like optimal movement you can do for the geckos here. I'm just gonna do the easy one and jump across like that.
Yeah, there's geckos, fast geckos, and faster geckos now.
Wait, there's faster geckos?
Yeah, there's a faster strat you can do now. You don't have to wait at all.
Oh.
Because you know with fast geckos, you wait like for the gecko to move forward a little bit.
Yep.
You don't have to wait there, but you do have to do more snaking.
I'm doing the slow bridge because I couldn't figure out how to do the fast bridge.
Yeah, there's a strat here called the Chilean Bridge, which
It's
my
called
friend-
that because of KBZ, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. The guy who you shouldn't listen to if you go to the SMRPG Discord. Oh, special
I have a-
enemy. Special
Oh,
enemy.
right,
I have
right,
a
yeah.
video of I have a video of the faster geckos from, like, I don't know, the first or second week pinned in the Discord.
Oh, nice.
I used an ice bomb here, right?
Yep, Ice Bomb unless you freebie the rock candy. It doesn't matter which order you use them in.
Okay, so something just happened that was notable there. I had to run away from that fight because I got what's called a special enemy. There are there's a 20% chance every time you get into an encounter. That's another thing I found. It is 20%. That an enemy in the fight will be what's called special, which has really, really buffed up stats. AKA, it will not be KO'd to an ice bomb. So now what we have to do, because I didn't freebie an ice bomb,
You have to do the splash damage strat.
yeah, we have to do the splash damage strat, which I'm not great at, but I'll do it anyway. Yeah, I messed it up. I'm gonna run away and try it again.
So this is one of those things that requires a little bit of, nursing and practice, because it sort of just depends on your ability to hit perfect timings on weird attacks like double punch and hurley gloves, which are not intuitive unless you, really get them down.
Wait, do I even need the hurley gloves on Bowser right now?
Yes.
Yep.
I do?
Yep.
Yeah.
When do you not use them?
Later.
Oh,
The end of the
okay,
game.
okay,
You you unequip Hurley Glove after the cliff.
okay. Yeah, hurley glove is one that I'm not very good at timing.
So if you don't perfectly time all of your attacks, you probably want to attack the Shogun here that you didn't time to at least kill it, so that it reduces the number of Shoguns that will attack you after your turns are over in the first round. Make sure you kill at least one, as opposed to leaving them all alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a small optimization.
But yeah, between that and the odds of getting special enemies plus plus the Balom fight later on having RNG, like this segment of the run is definitely the one that has the most variance in it, in my opinion.
Special
enemy.
Oh, you're right. I'm glad you guys noticed that, because oh man, there's so much going on the screen.
And it's like it's you would think like, oh, extra experience and a frog coin, like what? Why would you not want that? Well, they're so strong, it's just not worth killing them. The time that it takes, it just doesn't give you that much experience to be worth it.
No special enemies.
I would say, if you'd mistime something, just continue through. Hopefully one of these will go correctly. Like right now.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
Good rolls there.
Oh, I forgot I didn't have Mega Glove on.
Yeah, so ideally with the splash damage strat, you will kill all 3 Shoguns at the same time, but sometimes if you have high damage rolls, then the first one that you attack with Gino is gonna die before the other 2.
This part of the game is pretty good practice for timing your hits.
It is, for sure.
Do you know about timed hits?
I don't know.
SMRPGSpeedruns.com.
Special enemy.
Oh, special enemy.
Oh my goodness, again?
I mean, at least you got your chain back somewhat.
Reminder that if you want to learn more about timed hits, another special enemy.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to learn more about timed hits in Mario RPG Remake or SNES, that you can go to smrpgspeedruns.com.
Okay, no special
Find
enemy.
all of the timing windows that you could ever want.
I don't understand how these timed hits work. I guess I need to go to smrpgspeedruns.com.
Bowser's is really early, like as
It-
he's
it
picking
really is,
Mario
yeah.
to throw him.
Yeah, it's like right before he throws them, I think.
There we go.
Yeah, well, I look at it like when he raises Mario all the way up, that's when I press the button. So maybe you
Yeah, I
want to
think
go a
that's
little
pretty-
bit
that's a-
before that.
Like on SNES, I think it's right after he throws Mario.
Yeah, it's when
Yeah.
Mario is like on his way to the enemy. I don't know why I'm saving here.
I think it's like most projectile attacks, or it's like halfway or close to halfway. Anyway, so this XP star gives the most XP per enemy, and that's how the stars in this game work, is that every enemy that you kill with a star gives you a set amount of XP that's tied to the star that you got. So like the Land's End star, or the Bandit's Way star, for instance, gives you 1 experience per dog. The Sewer star gives you 2. This one gives you 9, which I think is the most in the game.
So it gives you 11.
11, yes.
Oh, is that it's 11?
And it's
Oh,
tied
okay.
with the Barrel Volcano star. You just kill way more enemies with this one.
Yeah. So it's really good to like sort of help you catch up again to another like sharp increase in difficulty.
So you definitely want to kill the dogs on the right first here when they split apart. And then the gecko and then the other two dogs to give you the most time.
Oh, okay. What? Okay.
Still got it.
Oh,
Wow. I see. Okay. Yeah, killing the dogs on the right. I can see now how you were getting this many enemies. I was confused at first.
Yeah, and ideally you'd want to kill these other two enemies over by the boxes as well, but whatever gets you 21 total is what you should do.
yeah, you want to get 20, and the movement's pretty tight there, and like, I think you can get away with missing like one. Is that true or no?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, you can and then make it up later, but it's not ideal.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, this is like to confirm Snowy before Mega Smilax. Like,
Right.
it's not something you can just make up with birds later on.
Especially if you've missed some on previous stars, you cannot miss anything here.
Gotcha.
And,
so
it's-
that's why I reset to try it again. Even though I only missed one, it is pretty important.
And so 21 here, the easier way to remember that is everything upstairs and 4 gets downstairs.
Oh, here's a fun trick.
Yeah, so this is Fortune Skip. This is actually probably the biggest sequence break in this game. You can align yourself in the corner of that wall, jump on that shaman, and if you jump on
show
that
it again.
shaman at a very precise position, he's not gonna trigger and leave the room, which is normally what would happen. And you
Yeah,
can
that's what happens
afterwards-
normally.
Yep, afterwards you can just jump off of the shaman's head and onto the Balloon statue.
Yep, so I'm gonna run right up into this corner, and I have dash on by default, so if you hold R, that makes you walk like at a slower speed. So you wanna run right up into this corner, then start walking. Like, you want to be in walk, your next input should not be a dash, it should just be a normal walk. So for me, that means I'm holding R. Gonna tap up a little bit, get Mario's foot, like, this is better explained on the wiki, but there's like a couple cues that we use where Mario's foot is like...
That works.
See how the front of his toe is just over a brighter yellow diagonal line on the ground? If you look very closely, you can see that. Once that happens, you want to take off to... you want to run northwest. Oh, I messed it up, actually. You want to jump right on that guy.
You need a clean diagonal here. If you
Yeah.
don't get a clean diagonal, you'll mess up your line.
And you can just jump right on the corner of his head like that, and then you want to jump onto the Balloon statue's nose. Like that.
Important to note here is as long as you're still running, you have all the time in the world to jump again. If the moment you stop moving, you'll either fall off or the shaman will force you off. And this is true. This is basically the same tech that we did for the save box earlier in Booster's Tower to not trigger the save function and to just jump off of it.
And another thing worth noting, when you go for Fortune Skip, when you fall down the pipe and into the room with the spring and the gate that was already open, that's another benefit of the Fortune Skip. If you don't get Fortune Skip, if you just go the normal way through that room, you'll have to hit a box and then wait for the gate to raise, and it's much slower. All in all, saves about 20 seconds.
So Balloon 2 is one of the bosses that is weak to fear, so we're going to take full advantage of that. They do, what, 1.5 times or something like that? Or maybe 25% more damage, I can't remember the exact number.
I think it's double.
Yeah.
Or is it? No, it's not.
No, it's
It's not. It's like
1.5.
I wrote the damage calculator and I can't remember this.
Because I think you do 174 with Shocker here without fear, and you do 261 with fear. So whatever that ends up being.
Sounds like 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually, I'm kind of glad that he Aurora beamed, because I wanted to see the backup strat in action.
Yeah. So there's like a whole lot of ways this fight can go. The fight is flowcharted quite a bit, so I'm going by the flowchart of he puts 2 people to sleep. Oh, Peach Clone isn't in the notes, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is? Okay. So you are always going to get a clone on this fight unless you are extremely, extremely lucky. And the clone you get changes how much EXP you get, so it's going to change when the rest of your level ups happen for the rest of the run, and that's just something you kind of gotta deal with. It's annoying, but not a big deal.
Yeah, fortunately, Peach Clone is functionally identical to No Clone, which is mainly what this route is planned around. There is one thing you need to... it's a good thing to get a Bowser or a Mallow clone here because you end up getting a large amount of more XP, and that lets you get one less enemy on the Barrel Volcano star later, XP star. So that's nice. I mean, it's just one less enemy you have to try and get because the movement on that is really tight, and it's a little bit luck based on some of the enemies that spawn where they end up moving to get them. So it's definitely helpful. I guess Mallow clone is the best outcome.
So I just got level 14 on Mallow there. That's important because that's when he learns Snowy, and the next boss that I fight is Mega Smilax. And you need to use Snowy on Mega Smilax because Mega Smilax is weak to ice. So you want to get it like exactly there, and that's part of why it's so important to do the EXP stars correctly. Even if they're a little bit hard sometimes, you'll get them after a couple tries of just running around and practicing. Because you definitely want to have Snowy for Mega Smilax. And you also definitely want to have Shocker for Spirit of Edge. So here I'm just talking to Monster Mama to advance the cutscene. That's one of the things you have to do before you can move on in the game. But also, after I'm finished talking to her, I'm going to make a little pit stop and get my reward for doing 100 super jumps on Johnny, which is my attack scarf and my super suit. That is right next door.
Excuse me.
They're odd but trustworthy. Just like me, for real, for real. Here we go, there's my attack scarf. And there's my super suit, the grand prize for getting 100 super jumps.
This would be where you warp back to...
Oh, that's
Land's
right,
End.
that's right. You do, I'll show it off. You do a map to Land's End, and you can actually warp right to the Lone Temple. Isn't that nice?
And this actually puts you in the room that you're headed to.
Unfortunately, Sign Jump is routed out.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Rip, sign jump.
And this is a little shortcut that gets you right back up to Land's End, because now we have to go up the cliff to get to Bean Valley, where we're going to fight Mega Smilax, who we just got that brand new spell for.
Yeah, once you unlock this and show up here, and Sergeant Flutter, is that his name?
Yep.
Once they arrive here, you can map warp to this screen, but unfortunately before that point, they don't let you.
It's true, I tested it yesterday.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, you gotta get under 11 seconds to get the Troopa Medal.
Distinguishing word.
Let's see, I do have Mario Malagino, and Mario is going to get that super suit that he earned from jumping on Johnny's head so many times, and his attack scarf. Mallow is going to be getting the Troopa Medal. That'll boost up his magic attack quite a bit. That is like the same thing as starting the battle off with the Geno boost. Geno will get the,
Bowser.
What is Geno supposed to have? Safety ring?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I put it on the wrong person. And Bowser gets the EXP booster here.
Yeah. And you can you unequip the early glove there.
Yes, because I did get the right items for that to be the case.
For the longest time, like when Sergeant Flutter said distinguishing work, I read that as disgusting work.
Disgusting work, soldier. Here's a prize.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was disgusting for a little while too.
When I first played this game, I was 7 years old, and I didn't know what the word idiot meant. So when the chef calls the other chef an idiot, I was like, "What does idiot mean?"
Oh. It was this weird French accent. It's like it's a French loan word. So this is the fight that we've built our route around. There are several phases, lots of like mid-level enemies, but a lot of them per phase. So obviously strong multi-target attacks are desirable. Snowy in this case.
Look at how strong my boy is.
Yeah, he's the best.
Look at that. My precious boy.
They're weak to the ice element, so Snowy is preferable. And that's why Mallow has had the EXP booster for the entirety of the mid-game.
And Ice Bomb, we still use an Ice Bomb on this phase. It just takes him out one hit.
Yeah, worth noting, so you buy 2 ice bombs in Seaside Town and use one of them on the Shoguns. You actually want to preserve the second one for this fight.
That's right. That's why I didn't use the second Ice Bomb on the Shoguns, and I was struggle busting with my attacks.
And that rock candy that we used way back on the clowns, this would be king. Well, you have it routed into your Ridovich now, right?
No, we would if we freebie the rock candy that we used earlier, you would use it on the Shoguns until it goes away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think this fight is solidly routed enough that it just doesn't really need the rock candy. But anyway, so yes, we used the triple attack to finish off the last phase. I think it has 1,000 HP. Like 1,500, something like that.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah. So an average of 350 per character is good enough to take it down.
The way that triple attacks are calculated is very, very interesting because each one has a different formula, but they're all ultimately based on each character's physical attack who contributes to it.
So a frequently asked question here is, why don't you get the lazy shell? Well, not only does that require going all the way back to Rosetown when we normally wouldn't, the gardener talks precisely forever. So,
Whoops,
yeah, he doesn't shut up. And unfortunately, the amount of additional power that the lazy shell items provide for you doesn't make up for the exorbitant amount of time spent collecting them.
And he just wants to be in Happy Gardener's Monthly. Or whatever it's called.
Look at that save.
You are actually meant to drop down on that
Oh, are you?
and jump under the bird.
Fascinating.
Yeah, the Vines have some pretty interesting tech in this game. Shouts to Spike Vegeta for actually finding those.
By interesting, you mean torturous?
No,
Look,
I meant like the
Look,
movement
it's not
that he
SNES
figured out.
vines.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking.
You're not wrong, though.
Imagine if you had to do SNES vines in this game.
Yeah, no.
I would rather.
Would you?
Yes.
Would you? Yeah, I guess because you used to do like tech videos about the SNES vines and stuff. I remember that.
I would rather turn the console off.
Look, I only turn the console off if I'm playing SNES and I get sleep sauced by Mega Smilex first turn.
Oh my god. Oh, you mean pollen nap?
Yeah, pollen nap. If I get pollen naps. I just do what Claude tells me to and I shut my console off.
We're so close to routing the Mega Smilex fight to have a chance at pollen nap for, I think was like phase 2 or something, and yeah, I was like, hell no.
Well, I'm glad we have Snowy now because I was really uncomfortable with using an ice bomb on two Smilex enemies.
Yeah.
Worth noting here, in the shop where you just bought the Mega Glove, if you are doing the no wiggler jump route, you'll have some extra money at this point. You can also like grab more money from the coin chest in Balome Temple. You're supposed to get 11 there if your coin route is optimal, but you can get up to 15 total for 150 coins. And that'll let you buy a couple of extra mid mushrooms and like a maple syrup or two, just in case things go really off the rails in the late game. They can come in the clutch.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also there's more coins you can pick up on the vines. Like, I find it hard to only get 40. Like, I usually pick up more by accident. Yeah, a couple extra coins. Nimbus Shop is a good place to pick up some extra items after you've gotten your Mega Glove and whatever pick-me-ups you need. Pick up some maples, pick up some mid mushrooms, they will help you. So, yeah, my 3 commentators, Void, Countdown, and Sean, have all done so much for this game, as well as like everyone else who's been working on this route, like Spike Vegeta, Headstrong, KBZ, DJ Carmichael, like SMBI working on like No Super Suit,
Ice Blue.
Phantom and Moonblaze Wolf working on like Breezy, Ice Blue has been doing stuff too. There's just like so many hands on this route, and it's like there's a lot of cooks, and it's not too many cooks. It's never enough cooks.
KBZ in Tokyo, we didn't mention.
Yes. KBZ in Tokyo, who spend like almost as much time trolling each other as they do to contributing to the route, which is a lot. And so, that's a lot of cooks, but we can always use more cooks. And if you like Super Mario RPG, if you like the remake, we could always use your help. I'm talking to you, chat.
Yeah, it turns out this kitchen is massive.
It turns out this kitchen is massive. Okay, also, you see the back of the Valentina statue? Doesn't, like, the wing look like a hand?
Like the right side of
It looks like a hand. You see, like, the right side of the Valentina statue head? Like, the parrot wing, it looks like a hand. It looks like somebody's hand. You can't tell me I'm wrong. It looks like a hand with 3 fingers. It's like the opposite of an AI hand.
You mean it is an AI hand?
No, an AI hand would have twice as many fingers.
Oh, it's true. It's a Simpsons hand.
It's a Simpsons hand, you're right.
Simpsons hand, yeah.
It's a
Yellow.
shinier Simpsons hand.
The end of Dodo's beak is red.
Dodo is also the main character of this game, and I will not hear any opinions to the contrary.
Dodo is a top 3 character, easily.
This whole game is just like narrated by Dodo. It's just him telling his fever dream to Valentina.
Dodo is one of the rare characters in this game that is really good and whose name does not begin with a V.
True.
Bowser, Malone, Booster, Bowyer.
Boadstool.
Yeah, Boadstool, of course. Who could forget?
Valentina.
Did I do that wrong? Okay, I didn't do it wrong.
What do you
The way
mean?
the way that he froze at the end there just made me think like, oh, when Super Nintendo, that means you screwed up. This part here, this is so goofy. They didn't have to put this in the game, but they did. Just these 2 guards attacking you for no reason, being like, oh, the statue moved. Let's get out of here. I'm not paid enough to investigate this further.
I feel like, other than like Booster's Tower and the factory itself, like Weapon World, as it's called in this.
Oh,
Nimbus-
sorry to interrupt. Here's another flower you can get if you were extremely under your maximum goal.
Yep. Besides like those 2 places, Booster's Tower and Weapon World, this is like one of the most technically demanding areas. Like most of those other places require a lot of jumping and climbing. This is like just all movement, like running around and avoiding stuff. And yeah, there'll be a skip coming up after the boss fight here.
So on SNES, you would just skip this fight, but it's mandatory in the remake, and
Yeah.
just end up using Snowy. The big troopers have 250 health per, and Snowy just does over that, which is very convenient.
Yet another encounter where special enemies can ruin your day.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he's actually watering the egg.
Wait, you don't do that?
You don't water your eggs?
Yeah.
How do you cook our breakfast, Sean? That's not how you boil an egg, shy away. Alright, how do I do this fight again? You start off with an untimed attack, you drop your chain on purpose. Gonna bring in Bowser for some Bowser action. He's gonna do a timed attack. Gino's gonna do an untimed boost.
Yeah, worth noting here, we would not time Bowser's attack there, but it doesn't progress this shell breaking thing, unfortunately. So you have to time.
Oh, so is there like a damage threshold for this one?
It seems that way.
There has to be, but like I don't think we know yet what the damage threshold is. Like on SNES, Justin told me that it's 500, but this is clearly more than 500.
I also feel like there's stages to it. Like each crack, you need to do a certain amount of damage or something.
That might be it, actually. Yeah.
Oh, did I get bad rolls?
Throw another attack with Gino.
You didn't have chain with Mario on his first attack.
Yeah, there you go.
Are you supposed to?
No, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to only have.
You probably got bad
chain.
rolls, yeah.
Yeah, there are
really
bad rolls there.
rolls.
That's okay.
Gotcha.
I got really good at blocking Myrtle's attack.
Which is very hard. I find it one of the more difficult.
Whoops, I didn't do the skip.
I mean, now you can just run by.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's
I was
one
trying.
way. That's one way to give skip the fan.
Yeah, there's like something
Menu
you can
bitch.
do where you can. Oh,
Menu.
right, there's a menu.
Yep.
Party Gino for Mel. Yeah, that's right. You got to bring Mel back in.
Join the Discord if you want to learn how to fan skip.
Mario accessory. He gets the EXP booster, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Bowser gets nothing. Yeah, there's like a video on the wiki about fan skip. It has like there's 2 different points in time at which you can start spinning, and if it doesn't spin at the first one, you can just start running past it.
Yeah, because I guess you basically just walk under him, or kind of under his range of vision.
Coming up on another XP star here, which we need an exact amount of enemies.
Yep.
Had you not messed up a single XP star up till this point, other than Land's End, where you missed exactly 1 enemy on the first star and made it up with the second star, you could pick up another an extra bird here and correct your XP route. Jury's still out on if that's even worth doing. Really, all it is going to quote-unquote correct is getting Mario to level 14 before Machine Mate Viridovich, which allows you to Ultra Jump instead of Super Jump, which saves you bouncing on the enemy 4 times, which is a very small amount of time, versus going into a whole extra room and back. So, almost got God. I like to look at the shadows here.
Yeah, same. Got
This just in, 79% of chat watered their eggs.
Oh, what a poll. Oh my goodness.
He gets attack here, right? Attack? I think he gets attack.
I was
Level 12, yes.
Yeah.
It's gotta be, yeah.
He's thinking he gets more than 1, so that's his attack level.
So we're gonna be doing a
So-
menu when we fall down here.
The part of the routing of this game is that on certain levels, your characters get better boosts to some stats than others. So, like for instance, with Mario, every multiple of 3
Whoops.
is the level where he gets two additional points to strength instead of just 1. And so we want to take advantage of that, where it's appropriate. So Mario is going to be doing a decent amount of physical attacking as well as spell casting, so it's good to, take special, wherever possible, including the special levels, but then also incorporate the physical attack levels.
I could have map warped to Nimbus Land there, but I wanted to make an autosave.
Map warp strikes again.
Understandable.
I wanted to be absolutely sure I had an autosave after that menu.
There are definitely a lot of map warps, or several map warps where it's you know, a fraction of a second or like a second and a half faster than just walking away or walking out to the world map or wherever you need to go.
So
So it's like harder. I think for that reason it's like even harder to realize, because you're like, oh, I'm at the hot springs, I'm so close.
Okay,
And
so
I'll just jump on the spring.
this fight sucks.
Yeah, Dodo takes away your middle character, which we manipulate to be Bowser.
What?
Thankfully, this part is pretty set, right? Like we just designate a firebomb for Dodo.
No, we needed
Or is that
freebies for
freebies?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say-
You need a singular firebomb freebie. And
I
that's what
freebied a
that's-
lot of firebombs, but you can also use a poison mushroom there if you don't have any firebombs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I blocked that.
I think
I'm expecting Troopa Shell again.
so. Valentina's pretty nasty in this version. I think she's a little more aggressive with her spell casting than she used to be.
Yeah,
I think.
she very
What was
much
it? It was
is.
like she used to like every third turn have a chance to cast one of a pool of spells, and now she just casts all of them whenever.
Okay.
Nice
This is like
doubleness.
Bizarro World left right now.
We need like the
Yeah.
Benny Hill music right now.
But yeah, she just like Croco in Mole Mines, Valentina has high evasion against physical attacks, so she can be pretty annoying. And like, yeah, the spells that she uses, they deal a lot of damage to Gino, and if Gino dies, then you lose your chain buff, and therefore the fight takes longer. Solidify
And
is
in gen-
one of the attacks that are actually kind of favorable to get, because it's a relatively fast animation and it doesn't do a lot of damage to Gino because of the safety ring.
Yeah, in general, you want to see physical attacks from Valentina as much as possible. Also because the attack animations for the spells are really long. So optimally, you just want a bunch of physicals. Like getting, 2 or 3 physicals there at the end is really good.
Yep.
Yeah. I think also like her AI is a bit different in this game. Like she's not restricted to only using Fire Blast, Petal Blast every 5 turns.
Yeah, we were mentioning that. She can do any one of her attacks on any of her turns.
Yeah.
I feel like she does have like an affinity to physical attack though, compared to using a spell for whatever reason.
It feels like it's more towards the end of the fight that I get more physicals. That's what I remember anyway, and that I'm sure it's just confirmation bias, but it just happened again.
Right.
I think that Valentina is the one enemy that can cast the most spells. She has 9.
Oh,
Which outnumbers Smithy even.
That sounds right.
pretty crazy.
If you don't count all of his different heads together as one enemy that casts a bunch of different spells, but
And she gets married to Booster, who has like 0 magic attack.
Well, Booster has the pain train though.
It's true. I bet Valentina loves the pain train. Like when she marries Booster, like she sees what he's got in his tower and she's like, oh my gosh, I hit the jackpot, and she just drives the train around all day. And Dodo goes and has a vacation somewhere. That's what I think happens after SMRPG
Yeah,
ends.
Dodo is all about riding the train around. He's got his little conductor hat on.
He gets to ride the new train that Booster makes in the post game.
Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah.
who doesn't want a hot guy with a nice car?
So Mario gets the EXP booster here. Mallow gets the Troopa medal here. And we're gonna map warp.
Map war, baby.
Map warp hype.
Yeah.
Here's another very demanding area. Basically, from here on out, like
I thought you meant the hot springs.
once you hit Nimbus Castle, all of these areas are pretty difficult movement-wise, and have some type of trick that will skip an enemy that you don't want to fight.
Yep.
Here's another chest that you can grab if you're still at a flower deficit. You want 45 for smithy. We have way more than that, but I'll still show it off anyway. It's this first chest here.
You have so many, you probably don't even need to use the flower items that you've stored up till this point.
I'm gonna use them anyway.
Of course.
I don't like that. Was that 8?
That was 8.
Yep, that was
Awesome. Yeah, you want 8 there. That is also a very strict one. What I did at the end there, I went up and I got the little magmas on purpose because the dry bones need a couple of frames to like actually get up. You can't collide with them if they're in their collapse state.
Yeah, and if you're standing over top of them and as they stand up, then it like takes a little bit longer to like register the collision, so it's better for you to actually like run into them as they've already stood up.
As I was saying earlier, it isn't the absolute end of the world if you don't get 8 enemies there, or 7 if you got a stronger clone. You just will have to super jump on machine-made Spirit of Itch instead of ultra jump.
So I want to show off a tech here. If you hug this wall and just start running northeast like that, you'll never collide with the fireballs.
Yeah, there'll be a similar tech later that you have to manually line up instead of automatically line up, but it does the same thing in avoiding. That is the one flower after Booster Hill that is not optional, but you get it essentially for free.
Autosave, autosave, yeah, autosave. Okay, so I'm gonna do another pause buffer here, but this time we don't need to use the home menu because we have in-game menus like this one. To get around the stump it, here's the easier way to do it. Open up a menu like your special moves menu or your item menu. Start holding down left and start mashing B. Whoa, why didn't that work?
So Mario can spawn a random amount of distance out of the door.
That's right, you don't always load at the same coordinates. So if that doesn't work, just reload the room, pause buffer your down left again, and try again. There we go, we got it.
Oh, is that what? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, now I understand why I was sometimes screwing up Thump It Skip using that setup.
And then
Yep.
you want to get really close to the edge and just walk around the stump it like I did there. If you do get into a fight with Stump It though, it's okay. Just use Snowy with Mallow and restore your FP later with like one of your flower jars, flower boxes, so on and so forth.
So,
we fight
like
this
in
guy, right?
comparison to something like Apprentice Skip that you would have done in the Booster Pass revisit, assuming you skipped Wiggler jumps, you have way more space to get around that Stump It. Fun fact, this is the one fight where you pretty much don't have to worry about special enemies. I don't think anybody, I mean, has any of us seen a special enemy Storm Pillar or Body? Because I don't think I ever have.
This guy you can just like walk right past.
But
Yeah,
the Earth Spike,
Stomper I have not seen as special yet. The Earth Spike can be special, but the Earth Spike dies from one Snowy, so you don't
Alright, we're
have
gonna-
to worry about it.
Gonna do a menu in here. We're gonna use all of our flower items, which I don't think I really have to. I have 57 flowers right now, but in normal speedrun, you would have to do that there if you didn't get every single backup flower plus like 9 on Booster Hill or whatever it was I got. Now, next thing we want to do is make sure that Mario has the attack scarf back. And now we're ready to fight the Zard Dragon.
so here you just want to tap right, and then, or not.
Oh, I was using, I use like something different.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I don't. I did it wrong. I was supposed to jump onto the first donut left, not the third one. Or second one. Anyway, let's go with your way. What were you saying?
You just tap right.
Oh, I tapped right.
The other
You
right?
tapped left. I tried it with left.
That's
earlier.
too much of a tap.
This is Kaizo.
Yeah, that looked pretty good. Now you just
Good.
jump across. I think you want to jump to the second platform, and then up to the
Yeah,
fourth.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Yep.
Oh, I keep doing it wrong.
You'll get it. You have to jump pretty late on that second platform.
I was trying to do the one that Mill showed me also. There's 2 different ways you can do this bridge that's like kind of fast, but I'm not doing any of them correctly.
To be fair, neither of them are exactly the easiest thing ever.
Yeah, I'm not getting this at all. Let me try the other one that I know. There we go.
Oh, well, there you go.
So there I just waited for the second fireball to launch up, and then I just start running, jump on the first donut lift, and just keep jumping. So there's 2 different ways you can get across the bridge, and you can learn about them in our Discord and on the wiki.
And
I
there are
actually
videos.
think that's the setup I used to use until I switched to the right tap.
Yeah, I just go with that one because it's got like a really obvious cue when to start running. So Zardragon is another enemy that's weak to ice, so turn order is mostly going to be attacking with Mario and Geno and using ice attacks with Mallow. Now, if you did freebie any ice bombs here, you'd want to use one with Geno, but I didn't freebie any ice bombs. So, woe is me, I'm going to have to do this. I don't know how to perfect block that attack, but that's okay. Half blocking keeps your chain.
So I'm not actually sure if we have notes on if Zardragon uses Iron Maiden on either Mario or Mallow here, but
Well, Mario is immune because of the super suit. If Mallow
Oh,
gets
right.
Iron Maiden, I think you still kill with Snowy if you use the Snowy the turn before, and if you didn't mistime your Mega Gloves.
gotcha.
So Zombone and also Zardragon have a chance to counter your attacks with an attack. And ideally you just want to not have them. It's completely luck, but you know, since you're just
Oh, this is
wailing
bad.
on him. Uh-oh.
That's actually really bad.
It's a dead Mario.
You don't see that a lot.
Nope.
Mario's dead, so he's also lost his boost. But Zombone should be close.
Did he have a boost?
No, you didn't boost Mario, actually.
Which is why he died.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought he would be dead by now, but I guess not.
You
Well,
should be
this-
pretty close.
Yeah, he's pretty close.
There you go.
Yeah, there's 2 different strats that you can use on that fight, and it all depends on how much HP Geno has when Zombone comes to life. Or when he comes to undead, I guess, whatever that means. Geno accessory, he gets the feather now, and now we're gonna go fight the Axum Rangers.
Yeah, theoretically you can use the Geno is not full on HP strat, but you're kind of gambling not getting as many encounters, even though like you're giving Zombone more opportunities to counter you.
So the Axum Ranger strat is pretty cool. It also is something that relies a lot on Mallow's specials, like a lot of other things in this run. Which is, it's good that Mallow is such a tough little boy, because, you know, there's so much stuff that you can't sell in this game. Like, you can't sell your flower boxes for 500 coins anymore, so we can't just buy a million bombs in Seaside Town like we used to in the Super Nintendo game. And we used to use quite a few bombs on the Axum Rangers, and we can't anymore. But luckily, we have Mallow to come to the rescue and do some really, really strong AoE magic.
This fight is so cool. I love this fight.
It's really good.
I did not see, but don't forget your menu if you haven't done that.
I did the one where you give Gino the feather?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I always do that one right after Zardragon when I'm standing on that bridge, because otherwise I am going to forget in all of the text boxes that are happening around here.
This is a very fun section. You're just like blasting jumps. Maybe tunes.
Yeah, I use the classic soundtrack. Everyone's kind of got a different preference, I think. I'm definitely a classic soundtrack man, although I think the new soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, my rationale for listening to the remake soundtrack when I do runs of this is because, you know, I've listened to the OG soundtrack so much already.
I've listened to the OG soundtrack so much already, and I want to keep listening to it. But I really like what the remake did to like the individual listenability of each track, and I really like how the original game was very cohesive in terms of what instrument choices were used in all the different songs. They're like both of the soundtracks are 10 out of 10 amazing for very different reasons. And ultimately, like, the tunes are just bangers, let's be real here.
Yep.
So this is a fight that's definitely like hangs on by a thread. You pretty much need everything to go perfectly here, or else you're improvising hardcore.
I love this one so much, I'm not going to skip it. I want to watch this. Look at them, they're so good. Clown Car Barrage has an elemental multiplier, so some of these accents are weak to an element, and if any enemy is weak to fire, thunder, or lightning, it will apply that elemental weakness in the damage of Clown Car Barrage, which is one of the reasons it is an awesome attack.
So everything has gone to plan so far. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully we get a miss on Mallow. That makes the fight a little bit faster.
This fight gives me so much stress because, like, I have a really hard time timing Shocker. I've gotten it, like, most of the time in this run, but sometimes I miss it and it just, like, stresses me out.
Unfortunately, we did not see the miss.
The breaker beam animation in Remake is so cool.
It really is. It's sick. Oh, I missed it. I knew it. Swap to Gino.
You're fine still, just gotta do an extra attack with Gino.
Attack here.
Yeah.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so if you miss time Shocker, you can still finish the fight. Today we learned. That is a good lesson for all the newbies out there who want to learn this.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to miss one attack on the blade phase. Maybe not two, though.
Mill used to make fun of me for super jumping the ship whenever I would miss an attack.
Well,
he was right to make fun of me, but also super jumping the ship is funny because it's like the hitbox is right at the top of the screen. So
yeah.
it's like you can barely see Mario, and like doing 100 super jumps on the ship is like, oh no, I did something stupid, time to flex. And waste a bunch of time for no reason.
Between super jumping the ship and, what is it? Using Hurley Glove on the ship.
I also like super jumping XOR and randomizer just because I can.
Yeah, it's another one that you'll be at the top of the screen, right?
Yeah, that's one of those times where it's like, oh, maybe I'll try super jumping him, even though like it's gonna be absolutely awful. I'm just gonna flex a bit for no reason. So something else that I never actually mentioned about this game is that you gotta be pretty careful with your movement, and by that I mean, I'll demonstrate in the next room.
That treasure chest we passed up is also another backup flower that can be used.
Oh, the one that was on, wait, which one are you talking about? The one in the hallway?
Yeah.
Where the heavy tripper used to be?
No.
No, okay, yeah.
Where you jumped on the guy's head.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so see how I'm like running up into the wall? That makes me go a little bit slower than if I'm running like a diagonal. See, now I'm slow. Slow, but I'm fast. I'm slow, but I'm fast. In the SNES game, it didn't matter. You were always the same speed no matter what. So if you're coming from that, like, be careful. You can't just run into walls and expect to go fast. Which makes me very sad, but it is what it is. It's a different speed run, and that's good.
Yeah, you gotta work that movement in this game.
Is there a menu here after this?
Nah.
It's just warp.
Yeah, do we just map warp here?
It's confusing because the last 2 times you're in this room, there's a menu. But actually, no,
So
just
there
the
is.
previous time. See,
We're
yeah,
going
even,
about
I,
this
even
key.
I got confused.
So unfortunately, if you're familiar with the Super Nintendo run, there at this point you would have 2 different methods of manipulating which things are behind which doors in Bowser's Keep coming up. That does not exist as far as we know in this game. So we're gonna have to just wing it. Unfortunately, they do let you quit out of the battle doors in case you get one. So like in Super Nintendo, you would have had to put in Mallow and Peach and unequip everything and die on purpose just to get out of the door. But they give you a forfeit option in this, so it's not as bad, but it is a time loss that is out of your control.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
About like, I don't know exactly, 7 or 8 seconds per battle door, maybe?
In that range.
Alright. What are you guys thinking? Which battle doors are the battle doors? Or which doors are the battle doors?
I hope 5 and 6, because this isn't a patched copy of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fortunately something that they did patch out. There was a bug where, don't know what the circumstances are, but you can open the doors 5 and 6 here, but then not go anywhere. It wouldn't like take you to a room. It'd just be nothing. So I think that is why Pidge is going to decide to just go to 5 and 6 first.
Right there, that's a damage boost. Like, you actually do want to fall off there on purpose. It's not an L plus ratio, it's a W.
Yeah, it resets your starting position to that platform.
Whoops. Sean came up with some good movement for this room recently, and I haven't actually learned it yet, but
It's pretty much just like the old way you would do it quickly.
this is
Yeah.
Super Slap, right? The one that we don't get?
Yes,
Correct.
don't get that
Yeah.
one, otherwise it's a reset.
Not actually a reset, but the notes do say if you picked up the Super Slap, consider resetting.
Reacher.
Oh, you're right.
Items.
I don't know the remake quiz questions. That's really funny. A lot of them are ported over from SNES, and I've actually never seen the remake only ones. Oh, I meant to hit Terrapin. Goody strength.
It always cracks me up whenever I see the Red Essence relieving back pain, because I wish.
Yeah, man. In a perfect world.
Okay, I got enough Super Nintendo questions that we passed.
Oh, I thought you could only. I thought you couldn't even fail 2.
It depends where you fail them at.
Yeah, if you fail the first
Oh,
one, it
really?
doesn't matter, because like, you can't lose 2 from 0.
Oh.
Isn't it like you have
Makes
to
sense.
win 8 out of 12 questions?
It depends on where you're at, because losing knocks you down 2.
Right.
But if you're at the
yeah.
bottom or you're at the first peg, then or the first like step up, you lose less than what you're supposed
Yeah,
to.
less
because
than
you can't
2.
go
Yeah, that
under
makes
0.
sense. That makes sense.
44. So
Wow,
you see a lot of
how did you count the barrels so fast, Sean?
people actually do ask that question, and there are people that are actively speedrunning the game that are individually counting all the barrels here. And so what you really want to do is always in the bottom left corner, there are those 5 barrels outside of like the central cube. And with those 5 combined with the central cube missing either 1 or 2, you'll always have a total amount of 40 or 39, and then you just add what the barrels that are on the top layer to that to get your final sum. And so you can get the result essentially immediately.
I have trust issues. I'm still counting it every time.
I just count in chunks. I know how big each of the individual shapes that make up that pile are, so I just add them
Yeah.
together.
Usually starts with 8 plus 9.
I did the central cube. I just start counting at 27.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I think 40 for the central cube, and then is it missing 1 or 2? If 1, then I know the 5 on the side together make 40. If there's missing 2, then the 5 on the side make 39, and then add the ones on the top. Everybody's got their own way, as long as just don't individually count them, please.
Yeah.
Not one by one, no.
Do I need anything in this room?
Nope.
That's right. We
But by
don't.
individually count,
Look at that
I mean,
fast
I'll just
boy.
count the chunks.
You can get that as an extra flower if you need to, which I don't, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that
you
is
can get it.
one of the faster ones. This one here is one of the slower ones. This chest.
Skip the rock candy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
As
think
you get
anybody's
3.
done the actual timing yet. It might be a little bit faster to get that one in that room and skip one of the ones at the end of the Dr. Topper puzzle doors.
You don't need that royal syrup, but I get it anyway just for safety. That's like a good beginner strat is to get that royal syrup. Also, the chests disappear when you get them. That's new.
Yep.
Wow.
So that royal
Also a bonus Kiro.
that royal
Up here.
syrup is essentially there for Smithy, and that's if you didn't get just a truckload of extra flowers because of Booster Hill. If you're trying to keep it to like the normal amount of 45 FP for Smithy, then that royal syrup can be good for that reason. Unfortunately,
Dang.
having to quit out of a battle door.
When I made my practice saves, the good doors were 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, only one battle door though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. First time I played this, I tried to do Mario's pad manip, and I got the same doors, but they were in different order.
Whoops.
To circle back.
2, 4, 5.
Oh, sorry.
I keep hitting more by accident. It's okay, I win anyway.
To circle back to the rock candy thing, it would basically be the difference of jumping off the cannonball and getting the rock candy versus there's a little extra animation when you get one of the rock candies from the end of the topper doors where Mario takes off his hat. It'd be comparing those two, and it's probably less than a second between them, so really you can get whichever 3 you like the most. But
I think the Cannonball Room one is probably both more comfy to skip and longer. So I think it's a win-win.
yeah, who knows? So
That's my opinion, though. I don't have any science to back it up.
right. So this room has had way more science put into it than you would ever imagine.
Yeah.
a fellow by the name of Kirk Q basically ran like computer simulation, doing every single like this is almost akin to like a chess computer, but with way less steps that it's going permutations. That's the word. And it tested every single one and found like the single least amount of movement that Mario needs to do to complete the puzzle. And I believe that's what Pidge did there.
Yep.
Because there's certainly way easier to remember and simplified solutions from that, but they do make Mario run around a bit more.
Yeah, I just did that one because it's the one I'm used to doing from SNES.
Yeah, Kirk even said like he's not certain that it's 1-to-1, but he thinks it's pretty close to being the fastest method. So Magic Koopa, another boss that is weak to fear. Sorry, Wizakoopa. The main goal here, optimally, is to kill him before he summons one of his summons, but looks like with a mistimed block and a half-timed attack.
Yeah. Oh well, we made it through.
Oh, we still got it. Look at that.
Yeah, normally Mallow would kill if everything goes perfectly. So the fact that Gino gets a whole extra attack there to make up for anything that might have gone wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you're pretty comfortable if you don't have a total meltdown in that fight. Hardest room in the game coming up?
Yeah, I need to learn the movement in this room. I haven't really learned it yet.
Just jump. Just don't stop jumping.
I should actually record a tape for this room because I really like the movement that I have for this.
Agreed. And this is unanimously the worst fight in the game.
It sucks because Boomer's such a cool character, but this fight makes me so mad.
Like it doesn't suck because it has like it's hard or because it has. I mean, there is some RNG to this fight, but it sucks because there's so much extra lag on this.
Yeah,
the lag is insane.
Somebody decided to put 24 animated candles in this room.
And that's why I can't time Shocker.
Yeah, it's also why just blocking everything that you need to block in this fight is borderline unreasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels real bad. It's just trying to do super jumps on this guy. It feels like it's 1.5 time, or, you know.
Thank God we don't need to.
Blizzard
super
takes
jump
2
anymore.
years instead of 1 year.
Yeah.
I've never perfect blocked that before.
Good block.
I have never perfect blocked that even in practice. I have a whole practice save for this fight.
Skewer is so hard to block.
Mark the calendar. Oh my goodness.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
52.
Whoa, I got killed.
Yeah, I mistimed a Shocker at the start of the fight, so I just did an extra attack to kill.
But you also dropped chains. So I'm surprised that killed. That's sick.
Oh yeah, because I didn't perfect block.
I was about to be like, you should probably just defend with Gino and like let Boomer turn blue and kill with Mario, but hey, it worked out.
Yeah, that would have worked too, because when he turns blue, he's a lot weaker to physical attacks. When he's red, he's weak to special attacks.
Which is something that we still have yet to time.
I'm a little worried about XOR because like I am absolutely not a Geno Whirl expert in this game.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
It's when the whirl is like over XOR. It's not once it goes off the screen anymore.
I know. It's just like
okay.
Switch controllers.
Yeah.
I unironically use audio for Geno Whirl in this.
Oh, do you? That's probably a useful.
Yeah, it's like as soon as I hear the pew, I press.
The cutscenes in the remake are so cool. I love the flavor they added to the game.
A slight optimization here. If you have chain going in this fight, you can actually. Nice.
Oh, I got it. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I thought I was too early.
Um,
Yeah, that is kept in the remake. Officially not a glitch.
Yeah.
Turns out it never was a glitch.
It's one of the only like things that were debatably a glitch in the original game that was kept on purpose.
So between right eye and left eye, the right eye has a lot more HP. But because of chain, you can actually kill it now with a jump, where in Super Nintendo you wouldn't be able to. So you'd have to menu over to the left eye, which is an additional input. So if you have the chain, you can save one input by jumping on right eye.
Huge.
Absolutely massive.
Huge gaming.
Yep. Speaking of huge gaming, so Weapon World, as it's called in Remake, definitely has a lot of really cool movement options. Basically, like, really flexes on how savvy you can be with your movement in this game.
It's the single hardest area in the game to do movement. Has the hardest tricks, and just moving around in general has the most precision.
You're landed between these two rods.
I'm gonna wait around a few seconds for an autosave.
You actually don't have to spin the nuts on the bolts as nearly as much as you do in Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're fighting
Really?
the guy we're doing commentary with.
This is another like pretty cool fight, but at the same time, like RNG can be really cruel.
Yeah. Definitely true to the original version.
Oh yeah.
This is another fight I forgot to practice today.
Nice freebie.
That's freebie.
Good high skill.
Okay, huge.
Cool.
Huge skill.
Double physical.
Oh, Ice Rock easy block.
Very nice.
Alright, I didn't practice, but I didn't need to.
I think due to a mistimed attack at the beginning, we might have to do an extra attack here at the end.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's really not the end of the world. The main thing is getting through the dingling attacks without dropping chain. Or I guess that ice rock from Countdown as well.
There we go. I put my whole body into doing timed hits. It's like I'm playing Mario Kart.
You should jump. You're just gonna do more damage.
Oh, you're supposed to jump there? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Died anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I assume the attacks at the beginning are for the splash damage on the dinglings, just to
Correct.
prevent low rolls from
There's-
not killing.
There's no menu here before Machine made you rid of it, right?
Nope.
So you take Bowser into that fight?
Just move.
Yeah. You take Bowser into that fight, you don't use Bowser, and you swap Bowser out on Cloaker and Domino.
Right, that makes sense.
And yeah, the menu won't be until after Mad Adder.
This is one of the most movement-intensive areas in the game. And there's a lot of enemy encounters that are tough to dodge.
Yeah.
I keep doing wrong warp attempt by accident. Like I keep like running off the conveyor belt and being like, yeah, wrong warp, yeah. Oh right, that doesn't work in this game.
Yep. Alright, this next screen is really where
I don't know this room. I actually don't know it, so I'm gonna play it safe.
well, I mean, hey, that's one way to skip. Well, never mind. I was about to say that's one way to skip Machine Made Bowyer, but
Yeah, this is definitely a room that I haven't like perfected yet.
So this room really highlights the difference between the kind of movement engines that we're working with between SNES and Switch. Particularly as it pertains to moving around corners, because in the SNES version you can just hold a cardinal direction through that area, up or left, and just navigate around the corners automatically. But in this game you have to specifically, rock your thumb around the D-pad to go around the corners and not lose speed. It's definitely something that takes a lot of practice to get used to. But anyway,
Nice freebie, bro.
another skilled freebie on machine made.
So you're still at 3 rock candies, funnily
Yeah.
enough. So you should probably use 1 on the mallets.
Yeah, otherwise, when Toad gives you another rock candy, it's going to be sent to your storage,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's an extra text box you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it at the snake too.
I took some damage, so I wanted to use that mushroom.
Yep.
Ooh, that was funny.
You got a buzz cut by Spirit of Witch's feet.
So unlike in the original game, we're going to be fighting the magic snake here instead of the physical snake. Although in the original game, if you run low level or most of the stuff, you fight the magic snake. It's only any percent where you fight the physical snake. Let's see. Shocker.
Okay.
Throw Crusher in.
Dang it.
Not a huge deal. You can shocker here instead of using a Mallow physical.
Yep.
That's a good backup strat if you drop your chain.
Oh, it's so powerful, dude.
Get
I
the Chad Mallow.
also, I mean, assuming Mallow doesn't die here, you might need to do an extra Geno attack.
Yeah, because he's supposed to defend turn 2, so I might want to do
Just
like
because
a
of the
regular
reduced
attack.
chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just full send it.
Ugh.
Especially after that. Well, I guess that, simplifies things.
Yeah. At this point, I think you just do 2 more Mario attacks instead. Nice block.
He's asleep, but he can still block.
Yep.
Oh no, Geno's did still kill.
Cool.
Nice.
Bowser gets HP here, right?
Yep,
Yep.
Yes, because he's not used anymore.
as does Peach.
Yep. Okay. Whoops. Sometimes when I press start, it goes to the menu instead of this menu. Mallow is going to get Super Suit.
And then you're gonna want a rock candy instead of.
That's right. Yeah, you can only hold 3 rock candies at a time, so I may as well use one here since Toad is going to give me one for free anyway, and I already have 3.
It's gonna be a little bit faster than Thunderbolt.
Yep. The rock candy animation is so pretty. I love it. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me, dude? Why does this game only like me when I'm doing marathon runs?
Can you
and
afford to
showcase
use
runs?
one here?
Yes.
Oh, I can use it here?
I would.
Yeah? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Because that's 200, and I'm pretty sure Mario does over 200 damage. Oh, it's 300.
300.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Because Mario kills you.
Oh wow, that saved even more time then.
That's so funny. We're fighting strats in real time.
Oh, man.
Just incredible luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I was saying earlier, I'm actually the one that found out that freebie rate is 33% across the board, and I'm gonna go like a little techno jargon here. But the reason that is the case is because it uses a Unity function that generates a number between 0 and 3, and it will do freebie logic if it's 0. So you'd think 0, 1, 2, 3, that's a 25% chance, but in that Unity function, the upper bound of 3 is actually excluded. It's an exclusive max. So you can really only get 0, 1, and 2, so it's a 1 in 3 chance. Because it is a uniform distribution, roughly. Now, you don't have to do this, But because this is a beginner, safe, ultra safe run, I am gonna get a couple of healing items. I don't need this, but I'm gonna do it just for posterity.
I would get more pick-me-ups too.
That is a great idea. Let's max out our
Definitely more
pick-me-ups.
pick-me-ups, yeah. Only have one.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Gaming.
Jamie.
Yeah, now if you play your cards right, I don't think there's anything Smithy can do to kill you at this point.
Cool.
Remake's so easy, dude. Truly, anybody can run this game. I'm not kidding.
Which means you all should run this game.
Yeah.
If you like,
It's
Mario,
really more accessible than it's ever been.
yeah, if you like Mario RPG, you will probably enjoy doing a speedrun of this at least once. 8 years ago, Milnium told me the same thing, and I took his word for it, and I got a boyfriend out of it. I got a bunch of amazing friends out of it. I got a whole bunch of travel over the last 8 years out of it. Got to do a bunch of marathons. It's all I'm saying is like SMRPG is a good game to run, you know? you may not end up getting a boyfriend out of it, but stranger things have happened.
We just missed the Bowser haiku.
Like the moon over the day, my genius and brawn are lost on these fools.
We love Bowser.
Same.
I love Peach. She's so tough, but also not at the same time. She's allowed to be both. Okay, this is the second fight in the game where you have to use super jumps.
Yeah, second fight in the game to use super jumps
How many
on.
do I have
We
to
only have
use?
3 fights left.
33. Let's see if I can do it.
I feel like Smithy 1 and 2 should count as separate fights.
I actually don't look at the counter, so it's like hard for me to do the right amount of super jumps. I look at visual cues in the background instead. Really, dude? Oh, that's annoying.
Almost.
I think you still, yeah, and then you just.
Oh, you still have the poison shroom. I'll throw that.
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
Oh my god, if that actually covers, that'll be hilarious.
Dude, why is that attack not possible to block?
Sick.
Oh.
I only had 2 super jumps
so
left.
sick.
Yeah.
Completely planned.
A huge brain play.
Yeah, without Chain, I'm not even sure Gino would have killed. Because I don't remember how much damage he does to the Rector normally.
No, I mean, my plan would have been just to defend with Gino, sit through the Valor Digger up, and then
sit
punch
through
with
Valor
Mario.
up? Yeah.
That's not right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, you may want to try again here.
I think it's because of Gino's speed.
Well,
Oh, yeah, because you don't have Chain.
Yeah, because I don't have chain. Okay, we're gonna go build up. We're gonna leave and build up chain and come back.
You just need to block. But
I don't know how to block that attack.
Huh?
I don't know how to block that attack.
Just try. I mean,
Well, it's too late now.
yeah.
Well, it's a projectile attack. I think it's the block window is when it's halfway towards you.
The other thing is you are meant to jump on Factory Chief, not Gun Yoke.
Oh yeah, but also like I want chain so that I'm doing enough damage.
Yep.
That's true.
Okay, let's fight some nerds.
I'm guessing machine-made Spiritovich is going to be...
Yeah, I don't know how to.
Closest, certainly.
I don't know how to block any of his attacks, so I'm just gonna do the wiener thing and.
The special.
Special.
This is actually
yeah.
a good thing, because you won't accidentally kill him.
1.
Oh great. Oh, this is wonderful.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. 1, by the way.
I was actually wondering how much damage Meteor Blast would do.
You probably don't need any more chain.
I'm gonna get one more just in case.
Yeah, you're good.
And you can definitely afford to group hug or
Yeah,
whatever here.
yeah.
Mhm.
So there you have it, chat. If you ever are in a dire situation where you lose your chain and that makes you slower because you don't have Gino's chain buff that buffs up your speed, just go get your chain back. But run away so you don't get too much EXP.
Gino's so good, he buffs your speed and your attack.
It's true, he certainly does.
2 for 1. Alright.
See, now that I have full chain, Gino's giving us a bit of a speed boost, so we go before the factory chief. And Peach will also. This is where you actually have to use Peach, regardless if it's a backup or not.
Yeah.
She can put these two to sleep with one of her specials, and that's why we don't buy a Sleepy Bomb in Tadpole Pond.
Unless your name is Headstrong.
Yeah.
Or
She can do
Tokyo.
whatever
Tokyo
she
also
wants.
got the miss on gun yoke the other day.
Oh, true. Yeah, there's like a 1% chance to miss.
Yeah, most of the factory staff are weak to status effects, which is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
These guys in particular are weak to all of them, I think, or at least the chief is.
We beat the ice bomb, nice.
Also, this game, I don't think we've touched on this yet, but this game has sort of a status hierarchy. So, like, I think the most severe is Mushroom. But, like, you know, Sleep will overwrite Mute, but, you know, Fear will overwrite Sleep, etc. I don't think that's precisely correct.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Concept behind it.
Yeah, and it's based on which status had a higher bit in the original game. So lowest is Mute, then Sleep, then Fear, then Poison, then I think Mushroom, then Scarecrow. I don't remember the order of Mushroom and Scarecrow. But I always had to remember, like, MSFP was like Mute, Sleep, Fear, Poison when I was doing randomizer development. Because those are the 4 that you can cast on enemies, and the priority from lowest to highest.
So that explains why on Bolome,
Yes.
when you're scarecrowed, you're immune to sleep.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
That's exactly why.
I find it weird
you're
that
working
Scarecrow is ranked higher than Mushroom. Like, when you're a Mushroom, you literally can't do anything.
I actually don't remember what order it is, but I can actually look it up right now while this cutscene is happening.
Oh, heck yeah.
I feel like Mushroom has to be higher, right? Just from the severity of the
Yeah,
status.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Scarecrow's actually higher.
Oh, what do you know? That's funny.
I just looked it up in Lazy Shell.
Assuming that this is still true in Remake, but if the Scarecrow to sleep thing is, then it probably is.
This is actually not a fight I'm super comfortable with yet, so we're all gonna learn it together.
Yes.
I have like
this is,
practiced it, but not as much as I've practiced the other fights in this game.
this is the third of 3 fights in this game that requires super jumping.
246. I think that's just barely enough to do
Yep,
45 supers.
That's 45, yep.
We want to set up, basically, we're going to do a certain amount of damage and boost Mario, and then do enough super jumps so that Gino can get off a second boost before the next phase, and then Mallow can kill the Rot Candy, or some damage item that will push Smitty over the threshold.
That's on SNES actually. In Remake, Gino gets the second Gino boost off later.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
If you drop there, it's not a huge deal. Just keep super jumping until you win, pretty much.
Nice freebie.
Oh my god, again.
That's so funny, man.
Okay, so I was half right. So you still drop early. You don't want to kill with Mario's super jumps there.
Correct.
I'm assuming that just has to do with optimizing the turn order at the beginning of Smithy 2.
Yeah, so the way it works in Remake is you will always get a full turn on unformed Smithy head. So it depending on when you end Smithy 1, you might get either an extra attack with Gino or an extra attack with Gino and Mallow. If you decide to kill with Mario, like say you drop super jumps and the fight kind of goes awry.
So another thing too here is, even if you do well. Okay, firstly, rock candy does that amount of damage much faster than the super jumps do, so it is still worth it to drop for that reason.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Second thing here is if you do drop super jumps for whatever reason, you can finish up with super jumps still and just defend with Mallow, because we don't want to over damage during this section of the fight, as Smithy isn't going to start changing his heads until the earliest after 2 turns of tank head here. So if that does happen and we keep the damage under 4,000, he'll switch to mage head, which is favorable for us. And if it goes 3 turns, we have enough to do that much more damage that it's not as big of a deal if it goes to other heads. However, we still don't want to see safe head.
Dang it.
Yeah.
The casket looking head. It looks like a safe or a casket.
Yeah, we have ways to deal with all of the heads. Safe head, unfortunately.
What do we
is
do here?
only
Do I res
to
Gino?
eyes.
Yeah, I would raise Gino.
Okay.
Just a lot safer. Raise Gino, and I think you should boost him again.
Yeah, I need to reboost him.
Like, you have the FP for it, so
Yep.
might as well. Alright, nice. He's staying tank, which is good for us.
Yeah, essentially anything but safe head is good for us.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Nice.
I think I mistimed that. Yeah, it's okay though.
Now would be a good time to use that rock candy.
Oh yes, that freebie rock candy. What a goofy video game. Super lucky staying on tank head.
Yup. Oh, can Star Riders here.
Yeah. I always mix up which button is Star Riders and which button is Switch. Because I'm playing on an ASCII pad SNES controller. I want to watch this animation again. They're so cool! I love them!
But yeah, that's the upside of this Smithy 2 strat. You end up building enough chain through
Oh,
the
no.
fight to fire off a second Star Riders.
You're probably close enough to not even.
Oh
worry
my
about it.
gosh.
Yeah,
Why can't I block that, dude?
He has to be close to that at this point, yeah.
I wanted Gino to be the hero.
I know, right?
Wow.
Are there any more
Yeah,
items I can throw at him? Let's throw a firebomb, why not?
I said another
So
jump or two
powerful.
should do the trick.
So powerful in Remake that just, we're doing like 1,000 damage a turn at least. And he only has 8,000 HP.
We're just
Funny
tossing
that
out
you say
anything at this
only.
point.
There
There
it
we
is.
go!
Nice.
There we
Hey.
go! And, time will be at, after Gino's last text box, the screen fades out. So like after we got a start piece animation happens, Gino will come in the middle of the screen and start talking, and then the screen will fade out after that, and that's time. Cool, we did it, gamers.
GG.
That was under 4 hours, right? I think we made estimate.
Definitely under 4 hours, yep.
Awesome.
Nice.
Poggers.
And now everyone in chat, you too can speedrun this game.
Heck yeah.
Don't forget to visit smrpgspeedruns.com to learn everything you need to know about speedrunning SMRPG. And watch back this video too if you want.
I am once again asking you to speedrun this game and go to smrpgspeedruns.com.
I've been asking people to run these games for 8 years. I'm not stopping now.
And join the Discord.
Yeah.
As far as, this is definitely a community effort, and as far as communities go, SMRPG is pretty darn cool.
I agree for sure. Time is
So,
coming up in a few seconds just after this cinematic ends. And here comes Gino. So when the screen fades out here, it's going to be time after he says like 3 things. And time.
GG.
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 Well, Church and Sarge, thank you so much for having us on today.
Yeah.
When you asked me to do this, like, that really motivated me to, like, really sink my teeth into Remake, because really when this started out, I played through the game and tested stuff and, like, done some practice, but what I really contributed was a damage calculator and an EXP simulator, and these guys have been using that. When I finished those, I was like, okay, I gotta go practice for my GDQ Hotfix shows now. So I really wanted to learn this run, and I finally did. So thank you so much for having me on the show, and everyone in chat, I hope that this was informative. And Void, Countdown, Sean, like, you guys are some of the best friends I've made in the speedrunning community, and I'm so happy that you were all here tonight. Thank you all so much for your amazing work on this game, and for joining me on comms.
Oh yeah. Thanks for running and inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for having us and for rolling unfathomably deep.
Yeah, I want to say thank you all so much for being on. It was a pleasure to have you all. Y'all did a great job at teaching and explaining. I'm trying to think of a way to vamp for like 7 minutes because I know everybody likes watching this cutscene. So if you all have 7 minutes or whatever to talk about things that you want to talk about, feel free, because I don't have a lot more besides y'all did a great job. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you, and I hope this helps people learn the speedrun and get into it, because I mean, I have not played the remake, but the original was such a great game. I do plan on playing the remake eventually, and I just hope that a lot of people get into this speedrun. And especially since there's so many people working on it right now, and that is one of the most fun times to speedrun something, is when everybody is working together and collaborating to try and get that time down. So hopefully this helps get some people into the game.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the remake when you do get around to playing it.
It looks very good compared to the original, which is saying a lot because the original is really good. It holds up still.
Oh, I agree completely. The original is still my favorite game of all time. Like, the OG SMRPG has brought so much to my life. Like, even what my brother and I are only a year apart in age. It was our favorite game growing up. Like, we bonded a lot over this game. And of course, like, it was just like a game that never left my head for its entire lifespan. And then when I got into adulthood and I found out about speedrunning, I thought, oh, that's cool, I'd like to watch that, but like, I'd never be good enough to do that myself. And then Mildium changed my mind. He asked me a couple times, like, are you sure you don't want to run this game? And I said, eventually I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I tried it, and I loved it so much, and I mean, I never went back. And now here I am, like, Sean here, he's like the first person who found my SMRPG learning streams, and he like showed up to help me learn some tech skill, and we became best friends, and then we became boyfriend and girlfriend. Now we're common law partners. He moved to Canada so that we could be together, and I met Void and Countdown, and they're two of my favorite people I've met, like, through gaming. So it's like, SMRPG is like a very special game to me, and when I played the remake, it's like, yeah, this is the remake that this game deserved. It's very faithful, it's very well done, and I think that it was worth the 27-year wait.
Yeah, and you did touch on something that I feel like we repeat a lot on the show, but is very important. You can be as good as the people you see speedrunning these games if you practice. That's what it takes. Like, some people are just naturally good at games, but, like, you can still get top times or world records if you just put the time in. Most of us aren't that good. We're just practicing a lot.
Yeah, let me be the first to say I am not a person who is naturally good at video games. I am not. Not even a little bit. I just practice this game a lot, and, like, I used to have a top time in SNES back when, like, we used an old route, and, so I got super jumps third try on Johnny. Like, that's just, like, a thing that you can do if you practice a little bit. It seems, like, hard at first. It seems kind of, like, frustrating, especially, like, if you're just trying to land that attack, you don't understand why it didn't land. Eventually, it'll just come to you. Just keep practicing. If you like the game, you're playing a game you like, it's gonna be fun, and you're gonna get good.
I think another thing to mention with that is your goal doesn't have to be like what am I trying to say here? There isn't the singular goal of being the world record holder or the best player. Like, that can be your goal, and if you especially if you think you have the time, dedication, and motivation to do so. But you can still enjoy speedrunning and have fun with speedrunning, if not just to feel proud about what you did at the end. Even if it's not a top time, even if it's not a top 100 time, you can still be proud of what you did and what you learned and accomplished along the way.
That's very true.
You certainly don't have to be as good as the best
to make it a worthwhile hobby.
To make it worthwhile, and even like this isn't required, but to be respected in the community as somebody who knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing, and be friends with everyone. You know, we're not going to treat you any differently whether you're number 1 at the game or number 420.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. You don't have to be going for the best. Just play to have fun. I mean, if that's your motivation, sure, that's fair and valid, but, like, play to have fun. That's the important. If you're not having fun, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
I actually have seen quite a few people on Twitch. Like, I browse the SMRPG directory a lot because, like, the last 27 years of my life has just been me sending out smoke signals looking for people who will talk about SMRPG with me. So I go to the directory a lot, and I'll see people who are, like, doing a speed run, but what they're really trying to do is just finish it in one sitting. They're not trying to get, like, a top 10 time. They're just like, let's just see if I can do this. And like, they're always having so much fun when they do it. And I love going to those streams and cheering them on. Because it's like, it's just something that you get a sense of pride out of.
Yeah, especially on these longer games where it's like, being able to beat it in one sitting is a huge accomplishment.
It really is, because, like, it's an RPG. Even though it's on the shorter end of RPGs, doing it in a really quick time frame requires, like, super specialized knowledge and very honed tech skill. If, like, you haven't been grinding this game, then you're probably not going to beat it in 3 hours. It's still, like, a big accomplishment to beat it in one sitting. It might take you 5 hours or 6 hours. That's a lot of sitting.
Yeah, I think even if you know the game very well, going all the way back to your childhood, it's still a solid 12-hour experience if you're not trying to run through the game as quickly as you can, or just don't have a plan, you know? So it's fun to get that plan down, to learn more about the intricacies of the game, and then maybe you'll surprise yourself with how good you actually do when you go for it.
It certainly surprised me when I picked up the run. I thought I was going to do it once just to say I did it, and now here I am 8 years later.
How beautiful is this, by the way?
I cried. I actually cried. I cried at a lot of points during this remake. I'm not ashamed to admit that. So something that I love about this remake is that SMRPG's original director had no idea that this game was being remade, but somebody that he worked with very closely on the original game, who's also a very good friend of his, was the supervisor for this remake. So he went on Twitter and said, I'm absolutely positive that this is going to be the perfect remake of that game. And honestly, I think he was right.
Oh yeah.
There's also something that I love about this game that happened like a few minutes ago. When Exor is disintegrating and they're all staring at it's disintegrating, Mallow turns his head to look at Bowser. He's so happy for Bowser. he's like, you got your castle back. He's so happy for him, and I'm like, I love him.
Yeah, Dad 3.
Bowser. that's like my theory is that like Mallow has a dad in Tadpole Pond. He's got a dad in Nimbus Land. What about when he's on the road? I think Bowser's probably his dad on the road.
He's like the cool uncle.
Yeah, he's a prince learning how to be a king, and who better to learn from than a king who's kind to his subjects. I love this so much. I just love these. These 5 changed my life. I love them all.
Also, poor Gaz, that's just Mallow's doll now.
Mallow's like, listen, kid, there's a lot of money in it for you if you give me that doll. I am the inheritor to an entire kingdom.
Yeah, Mallow just has no concept of what money is because he's a prince. I'm going to give you 2,000 coins for this doll.
He grew up in a swamp utopia, travels with like an older brother figure who manages all the money, and then he found out he was a prince. Like, dude doesn't have to know what money is. He got his 1 frog coin stolen, and that's it.
Yeah.
GG.
The D.
GG.
On the D.
Thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, seriously, thank you all so much for coming on and teaching the game. This has been an awesome showcase, and I appreciate you all being on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
thanks
you
again.
for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
With that said, we did vamp a little bit for the credits, so I think unless anybody else has anything they want to say, besides check out SMRPG and Speedruns.
SMRPGspeedruns.com. Let me look at my following directory in case you want to raid somebody.
So we are going to take a look for a raid target, everybody. Just a reminder, we don't have any more show for you tonight. We do have shows coming up tomorrow. We have Arcade Pit followed by Speedruns from the Crypt. That's going to be starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you all there. Have a great night, everybody.